Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to welcome, to be with us again this year, Mr. Doug Pearson, President, North American Operations of Exide Corporation. And now, ladies and gentlemen, the most dramatic words in the world of professional sports, here is Doug Pearson.
Gentlemen, start your engine.
And with that, a 3-hour roar begins that will end with one of the 43 cars and drivers in victory lane here tonight on a beautiful evening in Richmond, Virginia. We are live at Richmond International Raceway. ESPN Speed World welcomes you to the 25th race of the 1998 NASCAR Winston Cup season, the Exide NASCAR Select Batteries 400. Going into this event, Jeff Gordon has a 199-point lead over Mark Martin after Mark's engine problems last week at Darlington. Pole sitter Wallace is fourth in points. Bobby Labonte and Jeremy Mayfield have never even recorded a top 5 here at Richmond. We have raced 4 times this year on short tracks, and Gordon has recorded 1 win. That was at Bristol. But both Martin and Dale Jarrett have accumulated more short track points, with Dale Jarrett's consistency putting him atop the list. Hi everyone, I'm Bob Jenkins. We're just about set to go racing. And you know, a lot of times before the race, we talk about how within a few laps, there will be a second groove, a higher groove, and we'll see side-by-side racing. Well, we've already got that tonight, Ned.
Yes, we do. The Sawyers worked very hard when they designed this racetrack to make one where they could race side by side. And certainly they were able to do that last night in the Busch race here at the Richmond International Raceway, and I think we'll see a lot of it here tonight. And they not only can pass on the inside, they can pass on the outside as well. And Benny, it really doesn't matter where you start in this race, you can still win it.
Oh yeah, folks, if your favorite driver is qualified back in the 12th or 15th row, don't worry about it, because as Ned said, you can pass this racetrack. As a matter of fact, Dale Jarrett here 1 year ago qualified on the inside of the 12th row and came away from here the winner.
Nearly 100,000 people are in attendance. Settle back and enjoy an evening of NASCAR Winston Cup racing. Back with the lineup of the green flag in a moment. It's an incredible sight here at Richmond as we get set to go racing. Let's take a look at our Walmart EverStart grid. Rusty Wallace has his 4th pole of 1998. Ken Schrader is alongside in the front row. Take a look at the starting lineup, as in just one more lap, we will be set for racing. Now, we do indeed have many races to go here in the 1998 season, but the point was made during NASCAR today that especially this time of year, every single position on the racetrack is important.
Every point counts. The first 5 positions, 5 points difference. The next 5, 4 points. And the remainder of the field, just 3 points separate. So you can go out and pick up 10 points from 20th to 30th, or from 30th to 20th. That's 30 points.
As we look back through the starting field, you can see just how close the times were, and that's normally the way it is on a short track. Just a fraction of a second really separated first and last.
Jimmy Spencer will drop to the rear of the field for the start of the race because he crashed during happy hour. And the 13 car of Dennis Setzer will also go to the rear because both of those drivers are going to start this race in backup cars.
Ricky Rudd celebrating his birthday today. Mike Skinner was the fastest qualifier second round.
In fact, he was the only qualifier in second round to make the field, and Mike Skinner qualified good enough for the 26th starting position. As we get back here toward the end of the field now, we see that Dale Earnhardt and Brett Bodine will start from row number 17, so Earnhardt has a lot of positions to make up. Kenny Irwin Jr. made his debut in Winston Cup competition here a year ago, starting on the outside of the front row. This year he starts back in the 18th row, and now you're taking a look at the provisional starters for tonight's race.
And Dick Trickle was the fastest man in happy hour here this afternoon, even though he's starting back at the back of the pack.
Darrell Waltrip takes the previous champions provisional and starts back in the 43rd position. There are the 4 drivers who were unable to make the field. Buckshot Jones, Gary Bradbury, also
This is Kenny Irwin on board camera, Rick Mast on board camera, Kenny Wallace on board. Mark Martin will be riding along with him. Bobby Labonte, the food line on board. Sterling Marlin, the Coors Light, and Rusty Wallace, our pole sitter, will be having an onboard camera.
Here we go. The pace car pulls down into the pit area, and the green flag waves. The race is underway. Jackrabbit, Rusty Wallace got out to the lead and has now led 17 of the last 20 races here in Richmond. The battle is for second between Burton and Schrader.
And they've run side by side for a lap. Burton in the 99 car just has not been able to get by the 33 of Schrader. They get awfully close there as Sterling Marlin. He don't know which one to follow.
And that's exactly what Ned and I were talking about just a couple of minutes ago. You can race at this racetrack side by side, as Schrader and Burton are proving.
And the 10 car is off the pace. Ricky Rudd dropping to the back of the field now. That car certainly not up to full song as he goes down the backstretch. Big action in the pack, though. Wally Dallenbach, Derek Cope.
That's Todd Bodine in the 91 car. His first ride in. Oh, he just turns left and goes under. Tries to get under Derek Cope.
And this battle for second still rages on as Burton is to the inside and Schrader the outside. And a bird's eye view from Sterling Marlin.
And they've been that way for 4 laps now.
John, what's wrong with Ricky Rudd?
Bob, as unbelievable as it sounds, he has no brakes. He goes to hit the brake pedal and it will not pump up. It goes all the way to the floorboard. So we expect him to get onto pit road. They're going to have some crewmen down a few pit stalls from here to try and grab onto the car to stop it. And Rudd finally makes his way onto pit road.
We've got a great 4-car battle here as Jeff Gordon now begins to rattle the cage and make a little bit of noise. He moves past Sterling Marlin and goes into 4th spot, but Marlin is not, he does give up the position. Meanwhile, up ahead, it is still a great battle for second.
To John Andretti, the STP Pontiac, trying to take a look on the inside of Sterling, as Jeff Burton still will just not give it up. Oh, some contact between the two as Burton came off the second corner. He touches the back of the 33 car. Both cars wiggle, but able to continue.
Now we look back from Sterling Marlin to John Andretti. Also back there is Bobby Hamilton, Dale Jarrett, Bobby Labonte, and Mark Martin.
And Ricky Rudd has made his way on to pit road.
So the brake problem that John told us about will hopefully be corrected by the Rudd team as they push the car behind the wall. We're having difficulty even getting it stopped, rolling it behind the wall.
Andretti drives on the inside of Sterling Marlin. Oh, contact. We saw the tire smoke puff with the right front tire on Andretti's car. Made contact with sheet metal on Sterling Marlin's. That's Andretti in the 43, Sterling in the 40. Different paint job for Sterling this week.
There are a lot of new paint jobs that you'll be seeing throughout the evening. Andretti gets that spot. Meanwhile, Ken Schrader hangs on to second, but still Jeff Burton is right there for the challenge. While all this is happening, you see from the onboard camera how far Rusty Wallace is ahead. It is 1¼ seconds between the leader Rusty Wallace and this battle for second.
Yeah, he loves to look in his rearview mirror and see those guys back there racing side by side, bumper to bumper, because he knows he can pull away.
John with an update on Ricky Rudd.
Ricky Rudd behind the wall. The crew going to work under the left rear of the car, telling them to get the car up on the jack so they get a jack stand underneath and a crewman can go in. That what's happening is a brake line apparently has come loose on the left rear, so when he hits the brake pedal, it squirts the brake fluid out of the left rear. So that's why Ricky Rudd hasn't got any brakes. They're going to look underneath it now to see if they need a flashlight now because it's very dark underneath the car. They're looking, trying to figure out if it's just something they can tighten and can fix very quickly and get back. Now they need a new brake line apparently.
And John Andretti's got something dragging already.
It's something out of someone else's car, it looks like. Is that a grill from another car?
Might be from the 40 car. He and Sterling Marlin have made some contact there a little bit ago.
And Marlin has lost a position as Bobby Hamilton has come on to take 6th. John Andretti is running in 5th as your scoreboard shows you. Well, Derek Cope has dropped back. He's back in the 40th position. He started up in the 8th spot, and it has been a steady backward slide for Derek Cope.
Apparently that car just not handling it all. Or say the plug wire is loose, maybe.
Yep.
Okay, well that's too bad because he did have such a great qualifying run, and really that team had their hopes high for tonight.
Well, with Burton in 2nd, this becomes the race for 3rd spot, and Jeff Gordon, it appears, will take it from Ken Schrader.
He might have as much trouble as Jeff Burton. No, he's not going to have too much trouble as he.
And here's trouble on the front straightaway. It looks like maybe is that Rick Mast?
Rick Mast. Yes. A big puff of smoke right here at the starting line, and look at the car fill up with smoke.
Man, and the caution flag is out. And we see the fire underneath the car as some of that oil is getting on the exhaust. And Rick, there's a fire under your feet there, bud. If I was you, I'd be stopping.
And look at all the smoke that is in the air. John Kernan.
What we're being told from the crew down here in the pits is that Rick Mast has broken an oil line, and the oil coming pouring out and then getting on the header pipes, and that's what started the fire. So a broken oil line for Rick Mast as he comes down pit road, smoke boiling out of that race car. He'll pull it behind the wall too, and they'll try and get it repaired.
And that may mean a lengthy cleanup here at Richmond as he went all the way around the racetrack. You can see it there. They'll have to bring out the oil dry and get it up off of the racing surface before we can go back to green flag competition. The first caution is out. 17 laps have been completed here at Richmond International Raceway, and Rusty Wallace is leading over Burton, Gordon, Schrader, and Andretti. It's a beautiful sight on a gorgeous night in Richmond as ESPN presents this NASCAR Winston Cup race, and throughout the evening the overhead shots will come to you courtesy of the Pennzoil Copter Cam. We are about a half a lap away from the resumption of this race. It was brought out because of Rick Mast's loose oil line, which dumped a little bit of oil on the racetrack, but the track crew has gotten it cleaned up, and we're about ready to go back to racing. Derek Cope has made numerous pit stops. He's in once again, but he has remained on the lead lap.
And you can see Ricky Rudd is back out on the racetrack.
Rudd is 15 laps down. Rick Mast is 5 laps down, and the winningest driver here at Richmond since the reconfiguration of the track, since it was linked to the 3/4 of a mile, Rusty Wallace is still leading.
Ooh, Jeff Burton, I believe, got into the wall coming off of turn 2, and Jeff Gordon got into the back of him as Burton had to slow down and get his car back under control.
Gordon took the 3rd spot, or the 2nd spot away rather, from Burton.
See Ricky Rudd working hard on Rusty Wallace, trying to get back in front. Rudd is several laps down, 15 laps down.
Yeah, he'd like to get one of those back, and Rusty wouldn't hurt him to let him go ahead. Ricky has on fresher tires than does Rusty right now, so.
And that's exactly what Rusty Wallace does. Backs off, lets him go.
Remember, Todd Bodine is driving the 91 tonight. He just passed Kyle Petty, and that is for the
10th position.
Okay.
Now we see Bobby Labonte, the food line on board. Looks back at Todd Bodine. Oh, there he's going by Mark Martin. There's Bobby Labonte.
takes to the inside of Dale Jarrett as they come off corner number 4.
They ran side by side for about 3 or 4 laps when Ken Schrader and Jeff Burton were running side by side early in the race. Now Bobby's going to try it again.
Hardy's field summary shows you the manufacturer's battle, which is being led right now by Chevy. There's a leaderboard for Ford. They have 4 cars in the top 10 as Jeff Burton retakes the second position from Jeff Gordon. And Chevy has 5 cars in the top 10.
Bobby Labonte trying to feel out that top groove. See if that's a route he'd like to take.
Mark Martin trying to battle back from the disappointment last Sunday at Darlington that's dropped him 199 points behind Jeff Gordon. We look back from Mark Martin to Todd Bodine in the 91 car.
Sterling Marlin getting the challenge from Dale Jarrett down in 1. He's alongside. Bad news for Sterling. I think a lot of these cars are going to get by. Oh, but DJ goes in the corner a little too hard. Drifts up the hill, leaves that opening for Bobby Labonte.
Like he gained a spot, maybe going to lose one.
Oh, he got a crash. Looks like Dale Earnhardt's involved.
Joe Nemechek.
Robert Presley.
Dale Earnhardt's car is blazing, leaving a trail of flames.
That must be the fuel pump that was knocked off the car.
So the 5-time winner here in Richmond, Dale Earnhardt, has a problem. So does Joe Nemechek. That car severely damaged, at least on the right side.
Yeah, Joe doesn't realize how severe that damage is, but he's going to try to get back to the pits.
And Robert Presley also has some major damage.
Okay, all 3 of those cars are torn up severely. See Presley's car pancake. There we see Presley right in the middle of the corner. He goes up and something happens to the right front, like he blows the right front tire, and along comes Earnhardt and Nemechek with just no place to go. Victim of circumstances.
They had their full acceleration coming off of turn number 2, and when Presley had his problem up there, they were just on top of him.
That's what you saw just a moment ago from our turn 3 camera. And look at the fire in Earnhardt's car when he knocked that fuel pump off. Wow.
This is only a 3/4 mile racetrack, but the 2 cars that crashed earlier today, Dennis Setzer and Jimmy Spencer, both had to be removed from the racetrack on a rollback, indicating the severity of the damage that the cars can suffer here in an accident. And there is the latest victim, one of the latest victims, Dale Earnhardt, with a lot of smoke rising from that area over near turn number 3.
You know, we always continue to talk about, we talked about qualifying and how you can qualify in the back and work your way up to the front because you can pass on this racetrack. But we always talk about what a disadvantage that qualifying poorly is. There's a classic example, because the more cars you're behind, the more chance you are to become involved in an accident.
Very good point.
Well, there's a Jasper car right on the outside, right in front of Kenny Irwin, and just the right front brakes, the tire goes flat or something breaks on the right front. The car just veered into the outside retaining wall.
Sterling Marlin is in, Jerry.
And they have already changed right side tires on Sterling Marlin's car. Tony Glover making the call to bring him in. They clean a lot of debris off the windshield. Allen away, pretty good pit stop of less than 19 seconds for Sterling Marlin under the caution.
Now we keep talking about these cars able to pass. We'll find out if they can or not, because these are some pretty good race cars that are making pit stops and losing that track position.
And those that were at the middle or the back of the pack coming in for pit stops, they had nothing really to lose by coming in and getting some fresh tires on. But those running up front remain out there, including Wallace and Burton and Gordon, Schrader and Bobby Hamilton running in the 5th position. We'll have more live coverage of the Exide NASCAR Select Batteries 400 in just a moment from Richmond International Raceway. Under caution for the second time this evening. We had a major accident over on the backstretch, lap 35.
Robert Presley, we see something happen to the right front. Nemechek, Dale Earnhardt comes along with no place to go, and bam. A lot of damage to 3 good race cars.
They brought out the rollback for Robert Presley's car. Heavy damaged on the right side of it. Let's go down to John Kernan, who's with Joe Nemechek.
Joe Nemechek's crew has that big hammer, is out trying to beat out the sheet metal damage. Joe, what happened?
I'm not real sure. You know, all of a sudden Robert Presley's car's bounced off the wall and just shot right in front of us. Had nowhere to go, and you know, collected me, and then Dale got into me, and it's just a big wreck. You know, it's kind of real a shame for. I feel sorry for this whole Bell South crew. We're trying to rebound. You know, we had some pretty tough races here in the last couple weeks, and we had a heck of a car tonight. I mean, we were going to the front. I don't know what else to say. It's just a shame. I mean, the car's tore up really bad. I'm sure we'll get it fixed to get out and ride around, make a few laps, and maybe get a few points. But I tell you what, they had a tough race here last night, and I hope it's not going to be the same tonight. But we'll be all right.
And the good news is Joe is okay. His teammate Sterling Marlin, Dr. Jerry Punch, has a report on him.
The reason for Sterling Marlin's pit stop, take a look at the front of his Chevrolet. Now, when he and John Andretti got together in the early laps, you saw Andretti was actually carrying the front grille section or screen from the nose of Sterling Marlin's Chevy Monte Carlo. And without that front screen in place, they lost a lot of downforce on the front of the car. Without the downforce, the car was just so tight, Sterling couldn't drive it. They opted to come on down pit road, make a chassis adjustment, put 4 tires in it, and try to compensate for that loss of that front screen and downforce.
So Sterling Marlin also with some problems here in the early going of this race. 42 laps currently in the books of the 400 that will be run here tonight. So far, Rusty Wallace has led all the way, and we have currently had 2 caution periods that have totaled at the moment 14 laps. Back in a moment.
Dale Earnhardt's crew furiously working on his car at what's left of the right front of it. Dale, you're all right. You said it was just only like going over a speed bump?
Yeah, it really wasn't a hard lick or anything. It just hit the right front and knocked all the A-frame back in and popped the fuel line fitting off, and that's where the big fire was. But it just fit the bottom A-frame real bad up under the car. We can fix that A-frame right quick. That's not really basically all that's wrong with the chassis enough to go back and race it.
That's Dale Earnhardt. They hope to bend the A-frame back out and brace in the right front and get back out there and at least pile up a few points. But right now it looks like they've got a lot of work to do.
5-time winner here at Richmond, and didn't his son put on quite a show last night during the Busch Series race?
Tell you what, Dale Earnhardt Jr. has put on several shows this year in the NASCAR Busch Series, and last night was just a continuation. If you missed the race, 250 laps, Earnhardt led about 225 of them, Earnhardt Jr., and went on to the victory.
He was awesome. You saw it here on ESPN last evening, and in case you were not able to be with us, we'll take you back and show you some highlights.
Never see the cars going in 3 abreast. Brad Nossinger, the silver car, gets out of shape. The guy third place in the points, Mike McLaughlin, runs in the back of 3, not 1, but 3 cars. On lap 81, huge crash. Hermes Sadler in the back of both of the Grum boys.
And on lap 104, Mark Martin, trying to move through traffic, was tapped by Ed Barrier and hard into the outside wall. Hey, Ed, what's the deal? Dale Earnhardt Jr., his 6th win of 1998 in the Busch Series, and congratulations to that young man. And now Dale Earnhardt Jr. has a 140-point advantage on Matt Kenseth in the run for the championship in that series, with McLaughlin as a result of his crash falling 276 behind, and the defending 2-time champion Randy LaJoie 6th in the point standings. All right, the field comes down now, and when it crosses the line, it will get the 1 to go signal.
We were following Derek Cope a little bit earlier, Bob, making pit stops during the earlier caution. He has made pit stop again here, and we understand that they've replaced a spark plug, put a couple of new tires on it, and they think that all of his problems are okay. Now let's go to the pits and Jerry Punch.
And And there's a spirit of cooperation here in NASCAR Winston Cup Racing. A moment ago, Ricky Rudd's crew asked the crew of Rusty Wallace, how about working with us on the restart, you know? And Rusty said, okay, as long as you don't hold me up, I'll probably let you by it. And if you can't get by and the caution comes out, I'll slow down and let you get your lap back. Hey, we're all gentlemen out here.
Well, he is 15 laps down, so one lap isn't going to hurt either way.
No, it certainly won't hurt Rusty at this point to do that.
Kevin LePage has got a great run going. Kevin LePage qualified, started 38th, took a provisional, and has now worked his way up to the 20th position.
Green flag waves again. Rusty Wallace will get out ahead of Ricky Rudd, at least for the moment. Wallace has led nearly a fourth of all the fall race laps on the 3/4 mile track.
Here, Rick Mast, evidently they tightened up the oil line fitting. It worked because no smoke.
Rick Mast is 5 laps down.
And John Kernan has an update on Robert Presley's condition.
Robert is being checked out in the infield medical center right now. However, they are going to transport him to Memorial Regional Medical Center here locally because Robert is complaining of pain in his right shoulder. Talked to one of the crew members. They said they really haven't had a chance to talk to Robert about what might have happened to the car, but the spotter said it looked as if they might have blown a right front tire. Robert is going to be loaded onto an ambulance now, and he'll be taken to a local hospital once again to check out that right shoulder where it is very, very sore. They don't know if it's just a deep bruise or anything else. They want to be positive, so they're going to take him to the hospital for x-rays.
Battle for 6th position here as Bobby Labonte has it and Dale Jarrett wants it.
Yeah, Bobby just took it away from Dale Jarrett the last lap. They were racing pretty hard before the caution came out. Now Bobby has the position.
And Todd Bodine, once again, a great run in that 91 car as he closed in on the back bumper of Dale Jarrett. Mark Martin is behind him.
Todd has been able to get around Mark Martin. He was behind him on the restart, but now he's up there, has passed Mark Martin.
And has gained 10 positions. Here's a big cluster of cars. That's Jimmy Spencer, who started again the race from the backup car after having crashed during happy hour. We're looking ahead to Dave Marcus there on the right, and we're on board with Kenny Irwin.
And we see Mark Martin, and check it out, Ted Musgrave in the Caterpillar Chevrolet goes by Mark Martin and puts him up to the 9th spot.
Todd Bodine moved around Dale Jarrett and has taken over the 7th spot.
Kyle Petty right behind Mark Martin. He's their 11th place car.
5-car battle here as Mark Martin looks to the outside of Ted Musgrave. Now to the inside, and it looks like we'll take the spot away from Ted.
That camera looked like Mark Martin had spun out when he came off that corner.
Well, he just made an abrupt left turn and had plenty of speed. Moved right on around.
And Steve Grissom is another guy who's got a good run going.
Yes, he has. Steve Grissom qualified, I think, back in the 24th spot. Yes. And that is right now battle for about the 12th spot or 13th.
And John Andretti is also coming up through the field. He made a pit stop, remember, after he latched onto Sterling Marlin's front grille. He had to come in to get it removed, and he is coming back up through the traffic. He's up to 21st.
That's Bill Elliott, the car on the inside of Wally Dallenbach. That different paint job. Bob talked about we're seeing some different paint jobs. That's the Big Mac. Come back to Big Mac. And Chad Little on the inside of Ernie Irvin as they... Oh, boys. Easy now, boys.
They are racing hard here at 57 laps.
And here's Kevin LePage. We talked about him just a moment ago. He's on the inside of Ernie Irvin. That's a battle for the 18th spot. All the way from 38. Well, there he goes by the 50 car as well, and John Andretti. Oh, he stuck a nose in there,
and here's another pack that's all bunched up behind them. Great racing going on back from about 11th through 25th or something like that.
John Andretti with those pressure tires. There's Mike Skinner, and Sterling Marlin also made a pit stop a moment ago. We saw that. He's trying to work his way back.
Outside.
Kenny Irwin's radio we're listening to. As Kenny tries to drive under Darlin back, could not quite get that run. Here's Dick Trickle.
He's right in the thick of that battle.
Dick Trickle, this is Tommy Ball and his crew chief. This is his last race with Trickle.
Still there.
Hardy's field summary this time shows you the points change, if there are any. Right now, everybody's staying in the position that he began the race in.
Now that's a regular mess right there.
Yes, it is. Well, that's something that happened at any moment.
Jeremy Mayfield, the 12 car, working his way in the middle of this mess, and I don't know what else to call it. It's been a kind of exciting mess, though, isn't it, Bob?
Yeah, it's good racing. Steve Park on the outside of Jimmy Spencer.
See Jeff Green in there. He's also a car that made a pit stop.
So, of course, did Derry Cope. Made several pit stops. And Jeremy Mayfield, who certainly did not have a good qualifying effort, had to start in the back of the pack, and he's moved up to 30th.
Well, we talked at the top of the show about that side-by-side racing, high or low. You can do it as Bobby Hamilton makes the pass on Ken Schrader, takes over fourth.
And Kenny Irwin
Still there.
battling with Mike Skinner.
This is for 21st.
Well, you have to compliment Mike Skinner on his second round qualifying effort. It was the 26th fastest, and it came in the heat of the day, unlike the first round.
Yeah, that was a very impressive run. I didn't think anyone would be able to break into the field with the second round qualifying here today, but Mike Skinner did it.
Kenny Irwin, remember last year, made his debut in this race, started second and finished in 8th spot. 11 times this year he has been the highest finishing rookie as he goes for Winston Cup Rookie of the Year honors.
Starting 36th place, running 21st here now.
Roll in the corner, save your brakes.
Good advice.
Marlin and
Ernie Irvin. Marlin, remember, made a pit stop.
We talked about saving the brakes. You see at the left front, both those cars, when they drove off in the corner, both the rotors on the left front, we can see cherry red. Just like the right front we saw in Ernie Irvin's car, the rotor cherry red. That's what they're talking about. You gotta save the brakes.
They continue to battle side by side. A little paint trading there off of corner 4.
Now that paint don't match.
No, that's right.
For sure. A little bit of a clash there.
Thought Sterling had a run, but Ernie came back strong on the outside. And
isn't it amazing how many times this year that we've seen Ernie Irvin and Kenny Irwin racing together?
Sure is.
it's almost a tongue twister to try to say the two names together.
3:15.
Running the track in 23.15 seconds.
And you know, as running side by side, they still have caught John Andretti and this group in front of them.
John running down on the inside. He can't go anywhere there.
I see why they caught him, because right now we've got a couple of cars. Jerry Nadeau in the car on the outside, a different paint job in the Cartoon Network car, and Chad Little side by side. And both Ernie and Kenny Irwin was able to get by Sterling Marlin.
The man on the move is Bobby Hamilton. He's in 4th, looking for 3rd. Jeff Gordon has that spot right now, and Bobby Hamilton is very fast at the moment.
Bobby Hamilton in the 4-car winner at Martinsville back in the spring.
He was the fastest traveler that last lap at 118.489, just a tick of the watch faster than the guy running right ahead of him, Jeff Gordon. That's where 3rd and 4th are compared to Rusty Wallace, who has an absolutely incredible record in the last 10 races here at Richmond. In all of these categories, Rusty Wallace leads all other drivers, wins, top 10s, races led, laps led, and average finish. He has led all 72 laps so far here at Richmond International Raceway in the Exide NASCAR Select Batteries 400. Right now it's Burton, Gordon, Hamilton, and Schrader, the top 5. And Mark Martin just took the 6th position away from Bobby Labonte.
Mark's car seems to be maybe not slowing down as much as others. He was struggling there for a little while, but now he has picked up. He passed Dale Jarrett, Todd Bodine, and also now just passed Bobby Labonte.
Mark Martin has had to change his line here tonight to get this car around the racetrack. You would think that Mark would want to be on the bottom of the racetrack. I know he would be, but you see how high he's going around the corner? He's just adjusted because that's where his car right now wants to be to get around the racetrack. And there we see how far it is up to the leader, Rusty Wallace and Mark Martin. It's about 6.5 seconds.
And the interval down to just 1/3 of a second that last lap before they encounter the traffic in the form of Dave Marcus. And look at Todd Bodine. Boy, he is a man on a mission.
Up to 7th position.
Giving that car a good ride. They have a potential sponsor that was here, we understand, this weekend for that car. And that'd be great to see a sponsor go on it. So they wanted to make a good run here, and they're doing so.
He's gained 11 positions since the start of the race.
Like Bobby's Interstate Batteries Pontiac, Bobby Labonte's car has gone away a little bit here now.
Look at this. Jeff Burton has caught Rusty Wallace, but can he make the move?
Well, we have an indication now of which cars are better on long runs, and it looks like Jeff Burton and Bobby Hamilton might be a little bit better because we've run more than 90 laps.
You see that brake rotor on Jeff Burton's car? Turn that cherry red when he goes down to the corner. And we see Bobby Hamilton back there. He's been able to get by Jeff Gordon. He's closing in on this lead twosome.
He's only about 3/4 of a second behind Rusty.
Well, we've got cameras in both these front cars looking at each other. Rusty sliding up the hill like Mark Martin. And Jeff Burton's going to try it on the outside. Wow.
I think Rusty looked like he might be just going to give him that outside. Said, hey, if you can pass me out there, you go ahead. I'm going to stick down here on this inside. That'd probably slow their speeds down when they're running side by side.
And look at the fastest. Mark Martin was the quickest that last lap. Bobby Hamilton second and Gordon third. So Bobby Hamilton continues to be one of the fastest cars on the track.
And Jeff Burton is now the leader of the race. The Exide Batteries Ford is leading the Exide Batteries 400. They love it when a plan comes together.
Rusty led 93 laps, the first 93, and now Jeff has taken over. Jeff Burton has taken over the top spot. Meanwhile, Jeff Gordon runs back in the 4th position.
It's like all the cars are drifting up the hill now, moving up the racetrack just a little bit, trying to get the racetrack to adjust their cars.
Burton moving through traffic now, putting a lap on the number 11 car of Brett Bodine, who is running in 36th position. And the next one they will come up to lap would be Jeremy Mayfield. Good competition all night long since the drop of the green flag, almost 1/4 of the way through this event already here in Richmond. And Jeff Burton and Rusty Wallace work the traffic along with Bobby Hamilton. Rejoin us for more of the Exide NASCAR Select Batteries 400 in a moment. We have got some great racing going on here at Richmond. As you can see, Rusty Wallace has taken the lead. He has lapped his teammate Jeremy Mayfield. The 99 of Jeff Burton now second, but Bobby Hamilton and Jeff Gordon are right there along with Ken Schrader. And now Hamilton will go to second.
And Jeff Burton has still not been able to get around the 12 car. Now he might do it on the inside.
You see Hamilton's car wiggle when Jeff Burton came down. I don't think he touched it. I just think when he moved down, he took the air off the spoiler and it got the 4 car loose. Even if a 3/4 mile like Richmond International Raceway, you can't get that car in front of you loose.
There is Kenny Schrader, who started on the outside of the front row, now running 5th.
He had dropped back a little bit, Bob, but he's coming back. That old Chevrolet is on the move now. It seems to work pretty good on old tires. Maybe doesn't slow down as much as some of the others. Now, he didn't know whether to follow Mayfield or Gordon. I believe he better follow Gordon, though.
Whoa! I think I'll follow Gordon. Whoa!
He might have hurt me if he was about to get too quick.
Exactly. Turned that steering wheel and the back end didn't want to go.
Boy, Rick Mast is running well after he cut the oil line, had to go into the pits for several laps for repairs, 5 laps as a matter of fact, but he's running very well since he came back onto the racetrack. He is, however, down in 39th position. The 13 car was wrecked, as we told you earlier, in practice with Dennis Setzer. He has been lapped, so 33 cars remain on the lead lap.
And right now, there's probably about a 6 or 7 second gap to the next car that would go a lap down. Steve Park is running 33rd now in the Pennzoil Chevrolet.
Now, pit stop's coming up before too long here.
Yeah, we completed 106 laps in this baby. And
here's the battle for 12th position, and Kenny Irwin Jr. is doing a great job. He started back in 36th position and is battling for the 12th spot right now with Chad Little.
There's our Circuit City onboard cameras. We see Kenny Irwin ease on by Chad Little. Tell you what, Kenny Irwin has the last 3 or 4 races has been doing a terrific job in this 28 car.
His best finish this year came in Atlanta early on.
Clear all around.
You see the white car, Steve Grissom. Here's a battle for the lead.
Yes.
I thought this was 2nd place, but there's the guy I thought was leading, Jeff Burton. He's back in 3rd. Hamilton is in 1st.
And we have our 3rd leader of the evening, if he can be in the lead when they come back to the line. Here's a Hardee's Field summary with the manufacturers battle once again. And Hamilton comes off corner number 4 and leads the 110th lap. And so we have had 3 leaders so far tonight. Wallace, Burton, and Hamilton. Jeff Burton led 6 laps.
I tell you what, all these guys are using that high line around this racetrack. They found that their cars get around the racetrack a little bit better. Now Schrader's been able to get by Jeff Gordon, put Schrader up to 4th, Jeff Gordon back to 5th.
And now the battle is for 2nd place, Benny, as Burton and Wallace are wheel to wheel.
That's the way Benny drove when he Parson. He didn't go up there to pull him off on the outside.
And Jeff Burton goes to 2nd. As Ned indicated, before too long, the pit stops will be occurring. And before we go to break, we'll show you this battle between the 16 of Kevin LePage and the 96 of Ted Musgrave. And that is for the 15th spot.
Musgrave has fallen back a little bit. He was up there in the top 10 not too long ago, but evidently the handle's gone away on his Caterpillar Chevrolet.
LePage from 38th to 15th.
Big Bill Elliott right behind them in 17th position. And LePage takes a spot away.
So some of the guys who started in the back of the field are having very good runs here this evening, including Kevin LePage. More in a moment from Richmond International Raceway when we return.
About 6 laps earlier than anticipated, Rusty Wallace has come down pit road. He just screamed for the crew, I'm coming in, I'm coming in. I might have a tire going down. Tires may have gone away, but in any event, Rusty Wallace on pit road for a 4-car change. Let's check in with Bill.
Great run for Jeff Burton. Wants a little more forward bite. Right side tires are already on. Fuel going in. He's been expertly coached by his spotter, Bobby Hudson, and by Buddy Parrott along pit road. Tightening the lugs. Burton is on his way.
Wow, 16.9. Great pit stop.
Dale Jarrett rolls down pit road for his first scheduled stop. Here's Jerry again.
Dale Jarrett complained that his car was too tight. He could not even get near the bottom of the racetrack where the other leaders have been running. They plan a track jar adjustment. They put the handle in the right rear. They're also going to make an air pressure change. Change 4 tires, and now 1 round, 2 rounds, 3 rounds on the track bar. We're trying to loosen the car up. 4 tires on the car number 88. Left side tires going on. Meanwhile, Bobby Hamilton and Jeff Gordon come in as CJ leads. Hamilton will get right side tires. They plan no adjustment whatsoever on the car number 4. Likewise, Jeff Gordon now getting left side tires on the car number 24. 1 round out of the bar in Gordon's car. Left side tires on. Hamilton down and away. Gordon down and away. Let's go to Bill Weber in the Kenny Schrader pit.
And a good run for Ken Schrader. He pulls into his pit stall, gets right side tires, no chassis adjustment. Will swing around to the left side, slap in the second can of fuel. Lugs come off, tires go on. Schrader's been smooth and consistent on his times, looking for the right groove. He has a good stop. The Jerry Puncher, Mark Martin spins.
Mark Martin coming in for his routine pit stop. You would expect to anticipate 4 tire change. The crew now going to the right side. 1 pump on the jack. The right side of the Valvoline Ford is up. Right side tires going on. Bobby Labonte pulling away right in front of Mark Martin. Now left side tires going in. Mark Martin's frustration from a week ago. Hoping to make up for it here at Richmond. Needing all the points he can get. Left side tires, no major adjustments. Slide air pressure only. He is down and away. Now the car number 43 headed down pit road. John Andretti in the STP Pontiac. His first stop coming here on lap 123. Being very deliberate, 40 miles an hour. He brings the car in, stops it short right by the side. 1 pump, another half pump on the jack. And likewise for John Andretti, they make a track bar adjustment to try to loosen the car up a little bit. Andretti, as of many of the drivers, have complained that the car was a little bit tight in the middle of the corner. Now left side tires going on. Getting it full of fuel. Andretti's crew doing the left side tires, and also great pit work thus far in the 91 car for Todd Bodine. What an effort he has had here thus far in the early running. Left side tires going on Joe Fox Chevrolet, trying to impress a sponsor here watching tonight. Let's check in with John Kernan.
Kenny Irwin Jr.'s car is running just great as the tire gets away, but the crew grabs it. A full tire change, no adjustment for Kenny Irwin Jr., whose car on this long run was actually running faster than the leaders.
And Kenny Irwin was one of 5 drivers who have led a lap here since these pit stops began. Todd Bodine led 2. Benson, Johnny Benson is leading 2 laps. He's still on the track. Schrader, Martin, and Irwin each led 1 lap.
And Johnny Benson's one of those drivers who made a pit stop during one of the cautions back there, so he might go another 20 or so laps. So he's got a lot of cars down. Rusty Wallace just got back in the lead lap, but there's a lot of cars that are a lap down right now while these cars have not made pit stops.
The Pennzoil Copter Cam will show you the racing facility here in Richmond International Raceway. We're 127 laps into the 400 lap Exide NASCAR Select Batteries 400. Johnny Benson in the 26 car is the leader of the race at the moment. There are 5 drivers who have not yet made pit stops. They are Benson, Jeff Bodine, Jimmy Spencer, Ward Burton, and Michael Waltrip. And the reason they have not is because they pitted earlier.
Yes, they stopped on lap 36. I know Benson, I was handing a note that Johnny Benson stopped on lap 36. As you see Todd Bodine, the 91 car, racing with Kenny Irwin, the 28, the Texaco car. That is a battle for the 15th position. 16th spot, sorry.
Some of these drivers will be shown on your scoreboard as a lap down, but remember, when everything cycles through and as far as the pit stops are concerned, those will go away.
Now, if the caution flag were to come out right now, they in fact would be a lap down, and that's exactly what they don't want to happen. That's one reason that you see cars stay on the racetrack for an extended period of time, is just trying to stay in the lead lap.
Now the leader is in. Johnny Benson is in the pits. John Kernan.
It'll be a routine 4-tire change for Johnny Benson, plus they will do a chassis adjustment in the right rear. Take 1/2 of a round out to get tighten the car up. It's just a little bit loose apparently. Now they're already swinging around to the left side. You can actually see sparks flying off the lug nuts. Oh, they've got it full of gas. Now they get the left front like that's a little bit slow on there, but he's down and away. There's still a lot of gas out here on pit road.
Making his way slowly down pit road, staying under the speed limit before he can stand on the accelerator and rejoin the race. And the lead now goes to Jeff Bodine.
Yes.
This just shows you how better you are on fresher tires, as Jeff Bodine is on old tires, the leader of the race, running only 115 miles an hour, and Jeff Burton, back in 5th spot, who has made a recent pit stop, is over 118 and a half.
And that's 3/4 of a second. You see 23.447 to 22.75, 3/4 of a second. And in 10 laps, that's 7.5 seconds. Jerry Fudge, what happened to Rusty Wallace's tires?
Well, he came in 7 laps early, but he said he thought I had a tire going down. This is the right front tire off Rusty Wallace's car, and I've marked it right here. He indeed had a slice on the inside shoulder. So Rusty was going into turn 3, he said, tire, tire, tire. We were in commercial. He wasn't planning on pitting for 7 more laps, but he came down pit road and made the correct call.
And again, he is running in the 7th position. Here we have Irwin once again, along with Bill Elliott, Jimmy Spencer, and Sterling Marlin and Chad Little. Down to Bill Weber as the 22 car makes the stop.
They wanted Ward Burton on lap 140, and they got him. Car owner Bill Davis is calling the shots tonight. This team will have a new crew chief on Tuesday when Tommy Baldwin makes the move over from the 90 car. It's been a good run for Ward. This team desperately needs a finish. He's got right side tires, fuel going in, left side tires going on. Burton sitting patiently in the car waiting for the jack to drop. They have trouble with launch on the left rear. Now Jeff heads out to John Kernan.
Jeff Bodine, who had also pitted earlier, comes in to make his scheduled pit stop. 4 tires, haven't seen any chassis adjustment as of yet. However, I didn't see an air pressure, checking the air pressure before he pitted. Coming around to the left side tires coming off, getting a little bit of trouble with that left rear tire, but they get him on tight and he's away.
And you see Michael Waltrip also in the pits in the Wood Brothers sit-go Ford. He's one of those drivers that had made one earlier pit stop. He was in 2nd place when he came in as Bodine.
Oh, we got a crash up in turn 4. Turn 4.
One up in front of you, Watch it, watch it.
Is that
There
Dick
you go.
Trickle?
Go
Yes,
high.
it
You're
is.
Good. You're good. Okay.
Oh, and that's the leader. That's the leader of the race coming, and there's cars sitting in front of them.
They're trying to get laps back, and he's sitting in the middle of the racetrack.
Jimmy Spencer is the leader of the race as the race back to the caution occurs. Dick Trickle has hit the wall hard in turn number 4. He has, however, looks like gotten the car refired.
Tell you what, we see he gets the car going again. You know, these guys have just got to stay on their feet, just thinking all the time, because they had to realize Jimmy Spencer was the leader. And they had to race him back to the line. We see Trickle is there at the head of pit road. His car will not move, so obviously pit road will be closed for some time while they move that 90 car out of the way.
Dick Trickle finished 5th here in the early race of 1990, but an encounter with the wall here in 1998 has severely damaged that Heilig-Myers car. Now here is the race back to the caution.
Look at Kenny Wallace in the 81 car. He shot down on the inside and is going to put himself back on the lead lap. And Chad Little coming up there in the green car.
Too close to call.
That was close.
Watch the upper right of your screen and you can see Dick Trickle into the wall. John Kernan has more.
Dick has radioed into the crew and told them that the rear brakes locked up on him, so that's what caused him to spin around and smack the wall really hard. The rear brakes locked up.
And so the caution is out once again on the 145 lap mark. This is our 3rd caution of the evening. More from Richmond in just a moment. Stay with us.
And this caution flag was ill-timed for several cars.
It really was. It was good timing for Jimmy Spencer. He was going to have to make a pit stop before too long. Now he gets to make it under caution. But as a result of him staying out there, he's caught a lot of cars a lap down that had made green flag pit stops. Chad Little did not get his lap back. And Steve Grissom, here comes Spencer down pit road now. It looks like he might be the only one of the leaders that's coming in. Of course, the other leaders had pitted under green. No, Bobby Hamilton is coming in.
Bobby Hamilton, the third place car is coming down pit road.
The leader and the third place cars on pit road, and Jimmy Spencer has driven from last starting position to the lead. Here's Jerry Punch in the 23 pit.
And they plan an air pressure adjustment and also an adjustment on the track bar. See the handle in the right rear window. 1 round, 2 rounds, 3 rounds, 4 rounds. Guy's going to get tendonitis with that track bar handle over there. Now, they fall down the jack man, getting to the left side of the car, getting tires on the left side. Likewise, the car number 4, Bobby Hamilton, getting his service. Now working on that car on the left side. Here is Spencer down and away as Bobby Hamilton's Kodak film crew now cleaning the front of that car, getting it nice and clean and clear. Let's check in with Bill Weber.
Kenny Wallace is on pit road. He's already got right side tires. They made a track bar adjustment. Left side's going on. Car's down. Square D on its way.
And Bill Elliott also made a pit stop, and Dale Earnhardt has gone back into competition as we ride along with Kenny Wallace as he pulls out of the pits. The 43 car of John Andretti. These cars a lap down now are coming in for service.
Yeah, John Andretti and Kyle Petty and Steve Grissom all, and Mike Skinner all got caught on that situation of the green flag pit stop, and Spencer not having made a pit stop has really put them a lap down. So now they're coming in.
There you see the cars pulling in. Derek Cope is in, Bill.
And the battle continues for this Pontiac team. Right side tires have gone on. They made a track bar adjustment. They're going to go ahead and do left side tires as well. Kyle Petty was pitted behind them. He's left pit road. Terry Labonte heads down pit road, as does Ted Musgrave, holding on the left side tires. Derek's car, they're having trouble with the left rear. Long time to get those lugs on, but now he's on his way.
Cope rolling back into competition, as is Setzer, Ricky Rudd, and several others. Well, sometimes the ballet on pit road doesn't turn out to be such a pretty sight. But the athlete that he is, he jumps right up and goes to the other side of the car to get that car up on jacks. We'll be right back. We're getting set for a restart now. Now the leader of the race is Jeff Burton, and he is third in the outside line. Several cars are at the tail end of the lead lap as we go back to green.
Chad Little is one of those.
Green flag,
Takes the green flag. And Ernie Irvin is right in front of Jeff Burton as they start. Now they're almost a lap down, but when Jimmy Spencer came into the pits, that left them on the tail end of the lead lap, because they were in front of Jeff Burton.
Steve Grissom trying his best to stay in the lead lap, drive as hard as they can, and hope that they get a caution flag before Jeff Burton gets up there and tries to pass them.
Well, here they come 3 deep coming out of the corner as a lot of cars are jockeying around trying to do just that. And of course, that's the recipe for a caution flag when you get this many cars running this close together.
On board with Kenny Irwin as he sees a lot of traffic up ahead of him. Kenny is running in the 8th position. He's no stranger to Richmond. He's competed here in midgets and Silver Crown cars. And remember, he won the pole position for the truck race here at Richmond a few years ago.
And we see Bobby Labonte, the food line on board cameras. He sees this, and Ned Jarrett is exactly right. This is a recipe for disaster. Caution flag, green caution flag. And so far, these guys are able to run side by side at 125 miles per hour and keep everything under control.
You've had 10 different leaders so far in the first 156 laps of this race. Rusty Wallace has led the most, 103. Here's Jeff Gordon and Rusty Wallace battling for position for second spot, and Kenny Schrader continues to be among the contenders. He's 4th.
Rusty Wallace, all of a sudden, Jeff Gordon's able to get by and put a couple of car links on it, so it looks like Rusty's car right now not handling as well as it was to begin with. As Schrader comes up and challenges the Miller line forward. And Jeff Bodine, that Phillips Ford, on the inside of Schrader.
Yeah, he is now a lap down because of the pit stop situation back in 19th, but he was one of those who led during the pit stop sequence. In fact, he led 6 laps.
So Rusty Wallace gets in front of Schrader, pulls down to go the inside. Meanwhile, Jeff Gordon, we can see Oh, a little bit of a bump from Schrader. Jeff Bonines pulled up beside of Rusty Wallace.
Johnny Benson there in the 26 car was also a leader, but he's a lap down now in 20th. As is John Andretti.
Boy, there's just nowhere to go for Schrader there and a lot of others.
Rusty's car is just not right now. Don't know exactly pushing loose, whatever, but he's having some trouble trying to get that Miller Lite Ford around the racetrack.
Right now, the 99 car of Jeff Burton, the leader of the race, is the fastest car on the racetrack. He has nobody to deal with.
Except some lap traffic.
And Jerry has more on Rusty Wallace.
At the beginning of the race when Rusty was leading and right until he lost the lead, his car had been a little bit tight. And now for the first time tonight, Rusty has come by and told the crew the car is a tick loose. Not bad, but enough where he can't turn the car abruptly down off the corner.
Okay. The middle 10 races of the 1998 season were not good for Rusty Wallace.
Well, now here we are, 3 abreast. Rusty said, I don't like that. He backs out wisely, I might add, backs out of the throttle and lets Skinner in the 31, the Lowe's car, and Schrader go by.
Yeah, he said, let this mess straighten out a little bit here, and then I'll show you what I got a little bit later.
So Schrader goes to 3rd, and Rusty is back to 4th, as once again Jimmy Spencer continues to show some muscle. He's riding alongside Kenny Irwin Jr., and that is a battle for position for the 8th spot, make the 9th spot. And Bobby Hamilton is within the thick of things too there.
Hamilton, another car that both the Spencer and Hamilton cars made pit stops this last conflict. Kenny Irwin did not.
So those fresher tires, even though it might be just 15 or so laps, 20, makes a big difference.
On board with Sterling Marlin, and will enter the Tabasco hot zone.
You see up to 127 miles per hour. Now he comes off the corner, accelerates down the front straightaway. This ought to be a little bit faster. It's the longest. Yes, 135 miles per hour he will reach going into turn 1. And now you know why the brake rotors turned cherry red. You can see how long he kept that foot on the brake pedal.
Back up front.
And we see that Jeff Burton, the 99 car, is the leader, but Jeff Gordon is right there as they're trying to get by the lap car, the Skittles Pontiac of Ernie Irvin.
Look at the incredible average that Jeff Gordon has in the last 6 races. 1.6.
Almost as good as you can get.
It's tough to gain points on somebody that has a record like that, isn't it? Although Jarrett and Martin both have good averages themselves. Jarrett has averaged 5.8 and Mark Martin 8.5, but boy, it's tough to make ground on Jeff Gordon.
And here comes Spencer. He's on the inside of Dale Jarrett. That will be for the 8th spot.
I think Jimmy is glad that that car crashed in the happy hour, because this one is running fine, thank you.
Doing great. Jarrett's going to cut on that outside, cannot get back down. Don't know if his car would stay down if he could get down, but he's just having a tough time out there.
And again, the driver box there shows that Spencer, his originally assigned position was 16th, but he started at the back of the field because he went to a backup car. Is up to 9th.
Hamilton, another car that's got nowhere to go.
Mark Martin and Bobby Labonte are battling for the 6th position, just behind Kevin LePage, who's running 5th.
And you see Kyle Petty. He's another car that got caught up in the pit stop. He's now a lap down the Hot Wheels Pontiac.
Right now, there's 17 cars being shown on the lead lap.
You know, this is a great racetrack for competition, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
This is a terrific. These guys can run side by side, and doesn't seem to hurt them that bad, inside or outside.
It's the pride and joy of the Sawyer family here in Richmond. Actually, we're not located within the city limits of Richmond. We're in Henrico County in the Commonwealth of Virginia. There is Spencer, Bobby Hamilton, Dale Jarrett, Kenny Irwin, and Sterling Marlin all battling for position. Jerry has an update on Jimmy Spencer.
Guys, check the irony in this. The car Jimmy Spencer wrecked today in happy hour was the exact car and engine he wrecked on Saturday at New Hampshire. This car he is driving tonight is the exact same car they pulled out as a backup car at New Hampshire, went to the rear of the field, and ran all the way to the top 10 before fading at the very end, but still got a very respectable 13th place finish. What did Yogi Bear call that? Deja vu all over again?
I think you're right. He may want to make this his primary car because it is on a fine run here this evening. We're 25 laps away from the halfway mark. And John has more on Bill Elliott, who seems to be off the pace, John.
That's exactly right, Bob. The problem, a miss under the hood. The engine has developed a miss, possibly an ignition problem for Bill Elliott.
And
we can see that 1998 has not been kind to Bill Elliott, and as we see Ernie Irvin still in front of Jeff Burton. And John Andretti has about caught these guys. Look at right on the bottom of the racetrack.
Yeah, he is catching them. But, you know, there was one other guy that was in this picture when that green flag dropped, was Chad Little. He has literally driven away from him. He's pulled away by 5 or 6 seconds ahead of the leader. So he's in no danger of going a lap down.
Little is running in 16th in the car, just ahead of Jeff Burton. Ernie Irvin is in 17th position, and Jeff has been unable to put a lap on Ernie since the drop of the green flag for the restart. Nearly 100,000 people are enjoying tonight's race here at Richmond International Raceway, and they're seeing a good one. Jeff Burton leads Jeff Gordon, Rusty Wallace, Kenny Schrader, and Kevin LePage. The Speed Palace they call Richmond International Raceway is our venue tonight for this NASCAR Winston Cup competition. The Exide NASCAR Select Batteries 400, the Pennzoil Copter Can, is bringing you this shot.
You know, this thing has gotten awfully confusing, Ned.
I'm not confused.
I mean, I am confused about the speed of these cars. I mean, Jeff Burton never received the lead of the race. The 99 car, the Exide Batteries 4. Ernie Irvin, he's been trying to lap Ernie Irvin here for the last, I don't know how long. We see John Andretti, he's just driven up and passed all of them, gone by. And there we see Jeff Bodine goes by. And here's Jeff Gordon going for the lead. But, I mean, in the meantime, as you said, Ned, Chad Little must have pulled a quarter of a lap ahead of these guys.
Oh, yeah, he just absolutely has driven away. He's catching the back of the field now.
Well, you can fire up your laptops and let NASCAR Online take you trackside with timing and scoring. You can jump on www.nascar.com and get Bud Pole qualifying results and the scoring as it happens in Winston Cup, Busch, and Craftsman Truck Series events. So you can do that tomorrow when you're watching the truck race here on ESPN. That's NASCAR Online. Kenny Schrader and Bobby Labonte battle for the 5th position here in Richmond.
Labonte had faded a little bit before he made that pit stop, but now Jimmy Maycar and the crew seems to have put some speed back in that Pontiac, trying to come back towards the front.
Bill has more on Ken Schrader.
Good run for Kenny continues. He was a little bit tight before he pitted just past lap 120. So when he made that pit stop, they increased the air pressure just a little bit. Well, now his car's a little bit loose, so next time he pits, they're going to be returned to the original air pressure. Good run for Schrader. They hope it can continue. Long time since he's been to victory lane.
His best ever finish here was a 4th. That happened on 2 different occasions, most recently here in June.
You know, Bob, a little bit ago I said there were 17 cars on the lead lap. Now there are 20. as Mike Skinner has gotten back on the lead lap, and we saw Jeff Bodine get his back, and John Andretti. So if those drivers can get a caution, they'd be in great shape.
And there are only 2 cars out of the race, Dick Trickle and Robert Presley. Everybody else is still running, including the cars involved in that incident on the backstretch, Dale Earnhardt and Joe Nemechek.
As Spencer goes by, Mark Martin goes into the 9th spot. Hello, Johnny Benson, slow down the backstretch. Oh, Betty Crocker going for a ride. John Kernan, what's on with Benson?
It's a motor problem, Benny. In fact, 2 laps ago, he radioed in and told the crew the engine is going. It might last another 20 laps, but doesn't look like that's going to be the case. Engine problems for Johnny Benson Jr.
And he led 11 laps here this evening, and that was the first time he had led a NASCAR Winston Cup race since Watkins Glen.
You know, I told it a little bit ago I was a little confused about these guys. Now, the fellows in front, they had stopped and changed tires, and I didn't think that 15 or 20 laps on these tires would make that big a difference, but obviously it does, as Jeff Gordon just blows by Burton.
Jeff Gordon goes to the lead, and he has not led yet tonight, but as he comes down and crosses the line, he gets credit for it, so give him 5 bonus points. Ray Evernham looks on, and his driver, Jeff Gordon.
So now this is a little bit early. We've been doing this lately, Judge. Yep. But he's got the car to do it. So, hey, a smoker here, and that's Bill Elliott. We reported earlier that he was having a problem. Now he's really having a problem with that McDonald's Ford.
Down to the apron of the racetrack, however.
I don't think he got any oil on the racetrack. I think that was just some smoke internally, and I don't believe he got any oil on the racetrack. I don't think we'll see a caution flag. And so far, we haven't seen a caution.
If he can get back to the pits.
Here's second and third in the point standings, battling for position.
Battling for 10th position. Dale Jarrett and Mark Martin.
Meanwhile, this battle is going on about 7 3/4 seconds behind the leader. We see Kyle Petty, a little smoke there for his car.
Kyle Petty and Jeff Green, the 44 and the 46, they're involved in a battle for position, the 21st spot. And Terry Labonte is also on the same lap as those 3 cars. Not on the lead lap, but on the same as Petty. And
oh, did Gordon hit the wall? He was close.
Boy, if he didn't, he came awfully close. He backed out nevertheless and gave the lead up to Jeff Burton again.
I've seen Rick Mass, a 75 car, trying to get by Jeff Burton. Can't quite make it. Rick is several laps down, 6 laps.
Yeah, he was one of those drivers. He was 5 laps down, got caught up in that pit stop situation, green flag pit stop situation. Now, what's Ray Evernham saying?
Lap traffic.
Didn't like that. Yeah, lap traffic. Okay.
Well, it has put Jeff Burton back at the front of this field now. But Jeff Gordon has led some laps, 4 as a matter of fact, and picks up the 5 bonus points that are very critical in his battle for his 3rd NASCAR Winston Cup championship. And you can see that Gordon now is 239 ahead of Mark Martin as we progress through this race here at Richmond. We're at the 1 halfway mark, halfway around through this race, 200 laps completed, and Jeff Burton picks up the $10,000 for leading at the halfway mark. Back at Richmond, and we have a crash up in the 4th turn. Todd Bodine and Chad Little have crashed, and Chad was one of, if not the fastest car on the racetrack when this occurred. Here's Jerry.
They were about to bring Todd Bodine in anyway. His feet were burning in the car, and he was overcome with heat. Apparently, the inside of the car was so hot, he was having trouble breathing. They had already run Dick Trickle down here, and Trickle was standing by in the pits. They were hoping to get a caution flag to be able to get the 91 car in and put Trickle in it. The problem was, they didn't want to be the reason for the caution flag, but now they've got their flag. Trickle has the helmet on and will stand by to go in the 91 car.
Here comes Todd down pit road with a lot of damage on the left side of that car, and pit road is open, so here they come.
See that Jeff Gordon is the leader. There's Rusty Wallace. John Kernan
Kenny Irwin is in, a great run. He's in the top 10. Also, Kevin LePage right behind him around a wedge going into Kevin LePage's car. But Kenny Irwin said, hey, the car's perfect. I wouldn't change a thing. Jeff Burton, the leader, is in. Here's Bill Weber.
Burton's getting right side tires, and then he'll get left side tires and fuel. They're going to make a track bar adjustment and return to the original air pressure. The 28 is already out, and Gordon is on pit road. Jerry's there.
And they've already changed wide side tires. Now the Rainbow Warriors going to work on the left side. Burton is out of the pits as Gordon's crew continues to work down here toward the end of the pit road. They're dropping off the jack. Here comes Burton. There goes Gordon. And they nearly touch exiting the pits. One of them is out as they exit down in turn 1.
Looks like Gordon is going to come out second. Coming out third would be Rusty, and I believe Kenny Irwin and Bobby Labonte would follow that, actually in reverse order. Labonte and then Kenny Irvin as John Andretti and Ernie Irvin come out of their pit stalls. Under caution because of an incident up in turn number 3.
The 91 car had slowed dramatically coming off the second corner. I don't know exactly why. We see Chad Little go in the corner, and Chad's groove, he was going low and go up on the racetrack, and when he tried to go up to his normal groove, he didn't realize the 91 car was going to be there. They made contact, and around they go.
From another angle.
You see the cars up the very top of your screen. I don't know what made Todd, why coming off the second corner, he had slowed dramatically. I'm not sure exactly what happened there.
Well, perhaps he was thinking about trying to get to the pits because, as Jerry said, his feet were burning, and he was also trying to maintain consciousness, perhaps. And you can see Chad knock down some, what are those, filled with water?
Water barrels, yeah. Well, I guess they're not water sandbags.
Yeah. Well, that makes cleanup a lot easier, doesn't it?
It does.
I don't think Chad hurt his car too bad.
Boy, he was a rocket ship when the incident occurred. We will check in on that when we return to Richmond International Raceway. 208 laps completed here with Jeff Burton, the leader. Trackbacks are brought to you by Quaker State for protection beyond 3,000 miles under any driving conditions.
A few years ago, the term camber joined the NASCAR Winston Cup vocabulary. Now, camber is the angle at which race teams are allowed to lean in a wheel so the tire makes flatter contact with the racing surface. Now, NASCAR legislates camber, allowing a maximum of 1.9 degrees of negative camber on the rear end axle housing. Now, to get that camber, normally you'd have to bend this axle housing, and originally that's how it was done. Today, this axle housing is machined to allow for camber. Since our wheel hub is anchored so we can get our camber measurement, we're going to spin this rear end axle housing and show you how much it's actually bent. Give it a whirl, Benny.
All right, Bill.
Now, on your passenger car, this axle spins in a perfect circle. See how ours pivots? That shows you how much the axle is actually bent to allow for 1.9 degrees of negative camber. Why so much interest in camber? Well, when we made the switch from bias ply to radial tires, the radials don't flex as much as the bias ply, and teams can't play with stagger anymore. So they had to find other ways of gaining greater contact with the racing surface.
Didn't I do good?
You were wonderful.
Yeah, I did a good
nice profile of the body there.
And, you know, the trucks, the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series, they do not allow the trucks to run negative camber in the rear housing. And that really makes those trucks a handful. It helps these cars dramatically. Remember at Martinsville 3 or 4 years ago when all these guys put all the negative camber in the rear tires and put so much that they end up destroying the drive plates in the gear.
All right, let's take a look at a pit summary. Jeff Gordon came in first, came out second. Burton and him swapped. Hamilton lost 3. Rusty Wallace gained 1. And Ken Schrader lost 4. Bill can update Burton.
Well, a lot of discussion going on in the Jeff Burton pit. We told you they wanted to make an air pressure adjustment to return the air pressure to what it was prior to the previous pit stop. Well, they didn't make that decision until it was too late. Burton was already coming down pit road, so they wanted to get another ½ pound in the right front tire, only they didn't get that done. They're concerned about how the car is going to handle in this situation. Burton has been looking for more forward bite throughout the evening. We'll be watching. He is the race leader.
We're about to go back to green after a caution that came out on lap 205.
And here's what happened. We see Todd Bodine, the 91 car, coming off turn 2. I saw him slow dramatically. I didn't realize that it almost spun. And he's very slow off the corner. When he goes down in turn 3, that's when he makes contact with Chad Little. Gary?
And Todd Bodine's feet had been burning, and finally the heat had gotten to him. They've been calling to get someone. They were going to bring him in a couple of laps anyway, but the contact, of course, took place, and that's what brought out the caution flag. Now, when the car came down pit road, Todd got out of the car, and they helped him to an ambulance. He's been taken to the care center, where he will probably get some IV fluids, and we'll update it.
Boy, Kyle Petty just did not turn when he headed for turn number 1. May have lost the right front, huh, Benny?
Looks like it. The car just went straight. He got to turn 1 and the car just went straight. Now we've got a bunch of cars trying to get laps back as no one got back.
Cannot do it.
Slow down now, guys. Slow down.
Boy, Kyle really took a shot.
10-4. I was just saying you stay tight because the cars is coming back at you.
See Kyle moving around. Like he's taking his gloves off. The steering wheel is
Hit
off.
the right front pretty hard there.
John Kernan.
Looks like you tore it pretty bad, buddy.
And what Kyle's told his crew on the radio is that the throttle hung wide open on, and that's what caused him. When he went to let off to go into the turn, it didn't come back up off the floor, and so he went in there full tilt and hit the wall hard.
Wow. Well, it was obviously some kind of mechanical problem, because there was smoke from the car as he obviously was trying to hit the brakes, and then the car shot right for the outside wall.
How lucky is Jeff Gordon? Watch this. He's going to go between the leader and the second place car. Wow.
Boom.
Well, he did hit that wall hard. Came back down. Fortunately, it stayed high enough that the other cars could go underneath him.
You see that smoke is brakes. He's nailing the brakes, trying to get the thing slowed down, but obviously when the accelerator's on, brakes is not going to overcome that 750 horsepower. And the helicopter.
See, he's the second car in line there, trying to move on the inside of Jeff Burton, and all of a sudden he realizes that the accelerator is still stuck open.
He just barely missed Jeff Burton. He could have taken him out real easily.
6 inches maybe.
Yep.
Man, look at all these cars going by, 4 and 5 abreast trying to get by Kyle, sitting in the middle of the racetrack.
Tough break.
Kyle is out of the car and walking away, so that's good news, but the car is very extensively damaged, and we're under our 5th caution of the evening in the Exide NASCAR Select Batteries 400. We'll be back in just a moment. John is with Johnny Benson.
Back in the garage area, Johnny's changed to his street clothes. They've already loaded the car onto the hauler. A short night for them, but Johnny, your thoughts are kind of somewhere else right now.
Yeah, they sure are. You know, lost a good friend last weekend at Minnesota, and you know, Chris Bradley, and all of our thoughts and prayers go out with them. And you know, lost a great friend and a guy that helped us go to the championship. Worked for us 4 years, and you know, we both got our first ASA championship together, and you know, we're both real proud of that. So it's you know, a huge loss for all their family and of course myself and our families. And like I said, we're real close with them, with all the Bradleys.
Johnny, of course, referring to the incident during an ASA race last Monday, in which Adam Petty was involved in a tragedy on pit road. Green flag comes out. We're back to racing here at Richmond on the 222nd lap. And again, Jeff Burton is the leader, and he's got Steve Grissom now between himself and Jeff Gordon running second.
Steve Grissom's car is pretty good. The Kodiak Chevrolet is pretty good, but he's not a match right now for Jeff Burton.
Yeah, he was one of those cars that got caught down that lap on the green flag pit stops. He was had moved himself up into the top 15, was running well, but you're right, Burton's got a little bit too much.
On board with Bobby Labonte, who's running in 4th. Just ahead is Ricky Rudd, who's celebrating his 42nd birthday today. Happy birthday to Ricky.
Wasn't a very good birthday, though. Kyle Petty didn't have a very good day either, did he, John?
No, he didn't, Benny, but the good news is Kyle has been checked out in the infield care center. Kyle, you're all right?
Yeah, I'm okay. I just told him I had something happen to me. I've been driving race cars, fortunate, God bless, forever. Never had it happen. The throttle hung. We'd been having some carburetor trouble. I'd dropped back and it'd come back and whatever. And going off in the first corner, I hung, and I see Burton on the outside and Gordon on the outside. I'm thinking, this is good. I'm going to wipe out everybody going in the first corner. But I reached up and slapped it off and was fortunate. Tore the wall down, but that's okay. And again, I'd like to say, send my condolences to the Bradley family and let them know we're still thinking about them. And we tried tonight, but just come up a little short.
Okay, this is going to be real good. 3 abreast. And they just about crashed off turn 2. They're trying to finish the job here, but they still able to continue on.
Now, Chad Little lost a lap when he spun with the 91 car.
Whoa, look out. That's Sterling Marlin, and he did not hit the wall, but it looks like there's a tire flat on that car. Looks like the left front tire is flat. Yes, it is.
Boy, that's a miracle he kept it out of the wall over in turn 2.
And I saw these cars come off second corner just a moment ago. This is probably where he cut the tire, was coming off the second corner. Going down to turn 1 on the outside is the 40 car. On the outside of the 22.
And right there, Benny, they're going to touch, I believe. That.
You ever see Ward Burton go up?
Yeah.
Get a bit loose when he goes up. And there's 4 abreast off the corner.
And that probably cut the tire of Sterling Marlin right there.
I'm sure it did.
Skinner went right between them.
Hardly any doubt there's any contact there. As he goes in the corner, the left front tire is flat.
Jerry has more from pit road.
They just pulled that left front tire off with a huge gash in the outside of the sidewall, so 2 left side tires, and now Sterling is back on the racetrack.
The 28 and the 33 are racing for the 7th position. Kenny Irwin and Ken Schrader. And again, we compliment Irwin on his incredible run tonight. But just ahead is Kevin LePage, who's also on a good run. He's 6th.
Yeah, he has moved up from 7th position on the restart. So he's working his way towards the front.
And both Kevin LePage started 38 and Kenny Irwin started 36. So as Ned and I talked about at the very top of the show, it really doesn't matter where you start. You can work your way to the front if you have a good race car. And we see Kevin LePage right now trying to get on the inside of Bobby Hamilton and take that spot away. That's 5th place.
Indeed, here is LePage to the inside of Hamilton. They come down the straightaway here and run wheel to wheel. Now LePage inching ahead and taking over the 5th spot.
Well, don't be so.
Well, not yet.
So quick.
Bobby Hamilton might have a little something to say about that, but I don't know. He was able to get down there, so looks like he's able to accelerate off the corner and still can't complete the pass.
Now, finally, LePage, I think, will get the spot. If he can just go up the racetrack, clear. Spotter clear. There you go. When you can use all that racetrack, cut off second corner, go up against that outside retaining wall, it really helps your momentum and helps your lap speed.
LePage 5th and Hamilton in 6th.
There's Kenny Schrader in 7th place. Kenny Irwin now back to 8th.
Dale Jarrett is running in 9th and Mark Martin is 10th. Pretty good run in this car since he took it over. 3 finishes of 17th or better in 4 races. Back up front, meanwhile, it's Jeff Burton leading Jeff Gordon by just a little over 2 seconds. How much is that on the racetrack? That much.
Here, 3rd place car, Rusty Wallace. He's about 3/4 of a second behind Jeff Gordon. There he is. The lap car of Steve Grissom between.
And the 4th place car is Bobby Labonte, and the lap car of Ricky Rudd, several laps down, is between them, he and Rusty Wallace. Labonte in 4th place.
Then comes Kevin LePage in the Prime Star Ford with Terry Labonte, a lap car between those two. And then the Ken Schrader car in 7th, right behind him is Kenny Irwin in the 28. Then comes Dale Jarrett in the 88.
Then Mark Martin. Mark Martin, of course, in 10th place.
Next car, after we see Jeff Green go by, there's Brett Bodine, Jeremy Mayfield. There's their 11th place car, Jimmy Spencer in a backup car. I think we've told you that enough today. There's Darrell Waltrip. And 31, Mike Skinner, the second round fastest qualifier. He is currently in the 12th spot. There we see Skinner. Lowe's Home Improvement Chevrolet.
Remember, John Andretti was a lap down a while ago, but he's back on the lead lap now in the 13th spot. About 9 3/4 seconds behind Jeff Burton.
And Mike Skinner had been a lap down too. He got it back, and so did the next car, which is the car number 81 of Kenny Wallace. He is now in the 14th position. Or did he get by John Andretti for 13th?
He's 14th. Jeff Bodine, again, another car that got his lap back on the a couple of caution flags ago. There we see Jeff Bodine come off the corner. He's in 15th position. These cars are 96-1. Several cars racing laps down. There we see Ernie Irvin come in the Skittles Pontiac. He is the last car on the lead lap in 16th position.
So there you have all of the cars that are on the lead lap currently, as Jeff Burton is pulling away from Jeff Gordon. He's lengthened the interval from 2 seconds on lap 236 to almost 3 seconds on lap 240.
But you can see that Burton, how consistent he is. 4 laps at 22.6 and 1 at 22.7. And those last couple of laps that Jeff Gordon ran, 22.8, 22.9.
So can Jeff close in and make it another win here at Richmond? Well, right now, Jeff Burton says, no, I'm the best car out there. We'll come back with more live coverage in just a moment from Richmond International Raceway. Welcome back to Richmond, where Jeff Burton leads the Exide NASCAR Select Batteries 400. He's got some clean track ahead of him and clean track behind him. There's almost over a 3-second interval back to Jeff Gordon. We've had 4 different winners in the first 4 short track races of 1998. Never have we had 6 different winners in 6 short track races. So we may be doing that this year, as Jeff Burton is leading this 5th race. Of course, the short track season ends in a couple of weeks at Martinsville. Talk about short track racing. Here's a perfect example.
We'll see Rick Mast, a 75 car, Ted Musgrave in 96. Came off the corner, Rick Mast just rubbing up beside of him. Watch this as Sterling Marlin sees this. And that's what cuts those front tires down, or any kind of tire down, when they go up and rub against that sheet metal. If there's any kind of jagged metal there at all, it will cut that tire. And Jeff Burton is pulling away again a little bit each lap. He's now over 3 1/4 seconds in front of Jeff Gordon.
There are 148 laps to go, down to Bill Weber.
And crew chief Frank Stoddard just told Jeff Burton, you're 3.4 seconds ahead of the 2nd place car. Now Burton's Exide Ford is running extremely well. Remember, we told you they missed the air pressure adjustment on the right front tire, and has not affected the performance of the machine. In fact, the only thing that's not working perfectly on that car is Burton's radio. He can hear the crew, but communication from driver to crew is very scratchy. They've changed radios, and they have discussed a hand signal procedure in case the radio goes out.
Meanwhile, there's some battles still raging on the racetrack. Kevin LePage, Bobby Labonte, and Bobby Hamilton. Those back 3 cars are on the lead lap and going for position.
LePage trying to pass Bobby Labonte for 4th on the outside. Looks like he has the position. LePage in the blue and yellow, number 16, up on the outside. Now he has Steve Grissom right in front of him, Ricky Rudd down on the inside. Those cars run side by side, so there's not really anywhere for those cars on the lead lap to go. See Bobby Hamilton right there with him in the 4 car.
Uh-oh.
Whoops.
Grissom slipped just a little bit. And that allowed that. Bobby Labonte get on the inside, and now Kevin LePage is hung on the outside.
That allows Bobby Hamilton to go to the inside of LePage. Four rookies going for Rookie of the Year honors are in this race, and that's where they're running. LePage is 5th, Irwin 8th, Nadu 22nd, and Steve Park 29th.
So Kenny Schrader tried to drive by out both these cars on the outside. There he goes in the corner on the outside of LePage. Unfortunately, Kenny is going to run across the 41 car of Steve Grissom, just like LePage did.
Grissom is in 17th position, 1 lap down.
Now here comes LePage once again, back on the inside of Hamilton. As their Food Line onboard camera looks back at these guys. Page has a good race car, doesn't he?
They aren't too far behind the 3rd place car of Rusty Wallace, even with this side-by-side racing.
Less than a second. Show you an interval leaderboard here as Jeff Burton crosses the stripe and Jeff Gordon passes the stripe 3.28 seconds later. Looks like the fastest car on the track.
And he's running on the outside of Kevin LePage now.
And those guys are 1st and 2nd.
Isn't that something?
Fastest.
That is amazing. I don't think I've ever seen that before in my life. That is amazing.
Yeah, most of the time that'd slow you down about a 1/3 of a second a lap, but didn't for them.
Now Ricky Rudd, we see up there just a moment ago, racing beside of Steve Grissom, has just backed off and let these cars go because Rudd had a brake problem early on. He's 15 laps down, so certainly doesn't want to impede the progress of the leaders.
Jeff Gordon with the fastest lap that last time around. We'll check it again. Still about 3 1/4 seconds between 1st and 2nd, and Bobby Hamilton going to rank #1 this lap, it looks like.
Tell you what, he's going to show Bobby Labonte that he is the fastest car.
Got some teammates doing some pretty good racing back here, Irwin and Jarrett.
Yeah, they've been going at it for about 15 laps.
What's it doing right now?
And Hamilton challenges Bobby Labonte for the 4th spot, and Hamilton gets it.
Oh, he went in the corner and just goes to the top of the racetrack. Looked like something had broken. He goes to the top so quickly.
He said, man, I had worked so hard to get that position, but he's still going to be able to keep it, looks like. You wonder, as hard as they've been racing here, have they been using up their tires, making them a little bit hotter than they would if they were running in single file. But they're still catching Rusty Wallace.
And that last lap, Jeff Gordon had the fastest lap.
Bobby Labonte has not had good finishes on short tracks. His win, of course, in 1998 has come at Talladega. John?
I want to go back to what Ned was just talking about the guys racing a little bit too hard side by side, heating up the tires a little bit. That's exactly the problem with Kevin LePage. Radioed in and told him, I think I've heated up the tires a little bit too much. So they told him to kind of back off, take it easy, maintain his rhythm, and then if the tires will cool a little bit, the car will come back to him. Now they told me before the start of the race, they said, hey, we've got a really fast race car. It didn't show it that way in qualifying, but believe me, it is fast. The one thing they were worried about, they were sharing a pit with Jeremy Mayfield at the start of the race. That concerned them, but since the start, we've had those cautions. Some cars have fallen out. Jeremy has moved to Robert Presley's pit, so that freed the 16 team up to have this pit stall all by themselves, and they think they're good to go to the end. In fact, they're hoping for a career best finish for Kevin LePage tonight's race.
John Andretti and Mike Skinner are trying to decide who should be in 11th, and Andretti is the man right now. Here is Jeff Burton, who, remember a few laps ago, he had a 3 1/4 second lead on Jeff Gordon. Not anymore.
No, he doesn't anymore. It's a little over a second and a half. Bill Weber, we had reported check this AutoZone on-track interval. 3 seconds to 1.7, gain 1.3 seconds in just 5 laps. And check it now, Jeff Gordon, every lap at 22.9. Do you think Ray Evernham isn't a happy camper right now when he can look down and see that driver running the same speed every lap?
And all of Burton's laps were over the 23 seconds.
Ray Evernham looks, as usual, very calm and collected, talking to Jeff on the radio here at the end of 270 of 400 laps. We'll be back with more in a moment from Richmond International Raceway. Jenkins, Ned Jarrett, Benny Parsons, Bill Weber, John Kernan, and Dr. Jerry Punch back at Richmond International Raceway here in Henrico County, Virginia. The Pennzoil copter cam flying around in the crystal clear skies over the speedway tonight. And the 16 and the 2 now we're battling for 4th position. Bobby Hamilton has taken 3rd, so this is the battle for 4th.
Never saw Hamilton go by. You would see LePage trying his best to get that spot away. And Kenny Schrader also coming up. Not too far behind Rusty Wallace as Rusty loses 4th. Goes back to 5th. And Bobby Labonte as well.
Kevin LePage's best finish in NASCAR Winston Cup racing was at Bristol. He finished 10th, so he is on his best performance of the year so far. On board with Bobby Labonte, who's now 7th. The leader, meanwhile, begins to encounter some traffic. Brett Bodine is ahead, and Michael Waltrip to the left of Jeff Burton.
Brett Bodine is running in 29th, and that's 2 laps down.
This is working for Jeff Gordon's advantage because we showed just a moment ago that Jeff Gordon was 1.7 seconds behind. He really hasn't gained that much, but now Burton clears himself of the traffic, and now Jeff is just about 1.25 seconds behind. Bill Weber.
And Benny, a couple of things that contributed to Burton giving up that lead. First thing is they told him to save your car. You're ahead by 3.5 seconds. Frank Stoddard telling him to think about your car. The other thing is just 3 or 4 laps ago, he radioed in, the car's a little bit loose off. They're having tremendous difficulty hearing Burton on the radio. 2 or 3 guys have to agree that's what he said before they acknowledge the transmission. So Burton is a little loose off, but he's also protecting his race car.
Jeff Burton so far has led 128 laps.
That's about how many more laps we have to go in this contest.
Rusty Wallace and Ken Schrader. Rusty is now 5th, Ken 6th. And Schrader goes to the inside, tries to pick up the position.
Rusty's car not quite as good as it was earlier. Oops. Slipped a little bit coming off the corner. An indication that the handle's gone away a little bit on it.
Rusty has led 103 laps, most of those in the very early going. Schrader takes over the 5th position. Doc.
Asked Robin Pemberton what's the problem with the car. He said, really, it's not loose and it's not tight. The car is just sliding all over the racetrack. Rusty hasn't been able to describe exactly what it is, but we can see it from here. The car is just sliding all over the racetrack, in and out, and obviously it's costing us a lot of time each lap.
He loses another position to Bobby Labonte.
So Rusty moves back to the 7th position.
He was 3rd not too many laps ago.
Pretty good ways back to the next car, which is Kenny Irwin, who's back in 8th spot. Jerry Punch, got something else for us?
Rusty says it must be a tire. It must be a tire. So the crew now jumped up on the wall, and maybe he's going to come down pit road. He's actually turning the steering wheel almost a half a turn in the corner. And he said it's really, really, really loose. They're discussing it here in the crew whether they should go ahead and bring him in. He would be able to make it the rest of the way on this being their final pit stop. There'll only be one more stop anyway for the lead cars. But if he pits now in the green, he obviously would go a lap down at least. But you can see he's just trying to hang on. A moment ago, he ready and said, I'm twisting this steering wheel a lot in the corners, but right now, he looks pretty consistent holding on to the top of that steering wheel.
It's Rusty's 450th NASCAR Winston Cup start, and here is Kenny Irwin in the 28, and we ride along with Mark Martin. Kenny is 8th, and Mark is 9th.
Last time we saw Kenny Irwin, he and Dale Jarrett were running side by side, but Martin's been able to get by Dale Jarrett, and now he's trying to work on Jarrett's teammate. Looking back, our Circuit City onboard camera at Mark Martin.
Pull up on him in the corner and get a nose under it, but just can't pass as he comes off of the corner. Now got a pretty good run.
Just a little bit of contact there. We saw the smoke. We've seen that. Oh, and there's Rusty Wallace on pit road.
You saw him peel off and head down to pit road. Jerry, he's making his way slowly to you.
Well, 40 miles an hour, and what they think it might be is another right front tire maybe going down for Rusty Wallace, Billy Wilburn, and the entire crew waiting to go over the wall. Very, very lonely place to be on pit road here, but the one good thing for Rusty, he can make it the rest of the way now. This should be his final stop. Right front tire going off. He will go ahead and probably change all four. Yes, here they come to the left side of the car. Earl Marvin, 1 pump, 2 pumps on the jack. Left front tire going in. Billy Wilburn has the lug nuts on. It's full of fuel. He is down and away. And Jeff Gordon is slowly moving in on Jeff Burton.
Yes, indeed. Gordon is making the challenge on Burton here on the 291st lap. He cannot make the pass, however.
Well, he don't have to make the pass right now. He's got 109 laps to make the pass. They have about a 5-second lead on the third place car, so he's led a lap. He has those 5 bonus points. But if I can take the lead, I might as well go ahead.
Yeah, it looks like he's going to do it.
Yep. Well, Jeff has led 10 laps tonight, but Burton will not relinquish the position without a battle.
Yeah, Burton hangs on.
Yep.
I think Burton's running exactly in the tracks that Jeff Gordon wants to run in.
Oh, a little bit of a bump.
Yeah, just a slight little bump.
Here he comes again.
He's trying it, but he just can't get that grip on the bottom of the racetrack. We see him fall back behind Jeff Burton.
More from Bill Weber.
Well, we talked about how this is a multiple groove racetrack, and guys will spend a certain portion of this race looking for the groove. Well, while Burton has been leading, that's also what he's been doing, coached by his crew and his spotter. He's found a groove he likes, but obviously, as you guys pointed out, Gordon's pretty happy in a similar groove. Now Jeff again looks inside, but can't get by the 99.
See, they're off the bottom of the racetrack, up a lane, and both cars. I would say that if Jeff Gordon were in front right now, he'd be running in exactly the same place that Jeff Burton is running.
Yeah, he's going to try to stick the nose down there. Couldn't quite do it.
And again, they're not losing ground to the third place car, Bobby Hamilton, staying about the same, as a matter of fact.
Just a little over 103 laps to go in this 400-lap race. The Exide NASCAR Select Batteries 400. It's been a good one. Right now, it's Jeff Burton leading Jeff Gordon.
Well, it looks like a routine pit stop. However, it is anything but routine. Just a couple of laps ago while we were in break, Kevin radioed in and said something blew up. Says he think he blew up the rear end because he had just had an extremely bad vibration. So now they're checking the rear, to spin the tire around just to check and see. So now they're telling him, let's go. He's going to go behind pit wall with him.
Well, he had an outstanding run while he was out there. Now, Rusty Wallace lost 2 laps. However, he's just gotten one of them back, and the 99 and 24 are still battling side by side for the lead.
And we've got all this traffic right in front of them. There we see Ted Musgrave, Kenny Wallace. Thought maybe Jeff Gordon might have him that time, but now the guy that picks the right lane for the traffic is probably the guy that's going to come out in front. As Sterling Marlin is right in front of Jeff. Jeff, you might not be in the right lane, but he can't go high because Jeff Burton is there.
Looking back from Sterling Marlin's car.
And Jeff Gordon has the lead.
And Jerry has the tire off Rusty's car.
Guys, take a look at this. This is the right front tire off Rusty Wallace's car, number 2. Now, what the crew has told me was that this tire basically has delaminated the rubber from the radial carcass by virtue of a cut. They cut the tire, and that started the process on the inside, and it basically has separated from the radial carcass beneath this. I mean, the tire is not flat, but it was starting to come apart a little bit by virtue of having been cut on the racetrack. So you may ask, well, how about too much caster, too much camber? Look at the wear pins. The wear pins indicate that was not the case. It simply was a cut that caused the rubber to come off, and Rusty probably wouldn't have made it another lap.
Well, he does again drop now 1 lap down. He's running in 19th position. Rusty Wallace, the pole sitter for this race.
Now, if this race stays green, the others have to stop during green flag. Well, then you know, that's put him back in pretty good shape.
Kenny Wallace trying his best to stay on the lead lap as we watch his Tabasco hot zone, and Jeff Gordon gets by him.
Kenny is in 14th position, so now there will be just 13 cars on the lead lap.
As we saw Jerry Nadeau slow down to make the pit stop for the Cartoon Network automobile.
He was running in 20th position.
See Kenny Wallace pumping those brakes, trying to get that pedal build up. Here comes the second place car, Jeff Burton.
Seventh place battle between Mark Martin and Dale Jarrett. John has more on Kevin LePage. John?
Bob, Kevin has pulled it into the garage area. And here's the rear end gear. They're going to replace the rear end gear and get it back out.
Tough break for Kevin.
Yeah, he was really running good. Got himself up in the top 5. Had a great race car. There's Steve Grissom going by both Dale Jarrett and Mark Martin. He just came in out of the pits not long ago, so he has new tires on his car.
Steve is 3 laps down in 29th.
Well, those new tires sure make a difference, don't they?
Not as much here as it did at Darlington last week, but they do make a big difference. We've already seen that it made a 1/2 to 3/4 of a second a lap difference.
Here's Wally Dallenbach down to the right of your screen, and here is Kenny Wallace now making a pit stop after going a lap down.
Kenny Wallace pulls to his pit stall. They will make a chassis adjustment for tire stop and fuel. All these teams will be able to get to the finish under green flag conditions. They won't need to come back to pit road. They swing around to the left side. Kenny will get his left side tires, pack it full of fuel, and he'll be on his way in the Square D Ford.
Jeremy Mayfield coming down pit road. Mike Skinner is in the pits as well. So is Derek Cope.
Here comes a Napa Field summary for you. Points, position changes. Nobody in the top 5 changing positions.
And you see Jimmy Spencer has gone a lap down. He is in 12th position.
Jeff Burton moves up a spot. Mayfield down a spot. Jeremy has not been in the ballpark practically all weekend. He's 2 laps down now in 22nd position. Did not qualify well and is not racing well tonight.
Now we see Mike Skinner, the Lowe's Home Improvement Chevrolet. He just made a pit stop, put on 4 fresh tires, so he should be able to drive by these cars.
Yeah, he'll blow them right off. Dave Marcus is in the pits now in the Realtree Chevrolet.
So we are going to start seeing pit stops by the leaders before too much longer. They were last in on lap 207. Right now we're on lap 317. Back with more from Richmond International Raceway in a moment.
Jeff Gordon just exiting pit road, making what would be his final scheduled stop for the day. They made an adjustment in the track bar and some air pressure to try to tighten the 24 car up. The Kodak Chevrolet also pitting. They did not have radio communications. They had NASCAR to black flag Bobby Hamilton, letting him know they needed him on pit road.
Well, we did have others pit stops. Jeff Burton came in for a stop.
Mark Martin, Dale Jarrett were in.
Kenny Irwin was also in.
Right now, Jimmy Spencer is the leader of the race.
He has not pitted, obviously, because we saw him go a lap down just a few laps ago.
And Jeff Gordon has come out ahead of Jeff Burton, so when Jimmy does have to make a pit stop, Jeff Gordon will be the leader of the race. Right now he's second.
I don't know if he will or not, because we've seen so far tonight, Jeff Burton on fresh tires is a little quicker than Jeff Gordon. It's after they run about 70, 80 laps that Jeff Gordon seems to be a little faster. So right now, and Jeff Burton is not that far behind.
Down to Bill Weber.
And that could be an advantage because they've got less than 80 laps to run. So if Burton's car is better on a shorter period of time, the fact they waited to pit could help them. Here's something else. Burton's crew has 4 tires ready to put on that car. But since they knew this was going to be their last stop, they changed the set just before Burton pitted. They wanted to get a better set, a better match on the car for this final run. They also made an air pressure adjustment, and Jeff Burton is running Jeff Gordon down.
Yes, he certainly is. He is within a car length and closing in. Looking to the bottom of Jeff Gordon.
When he comes off the corner, he's there.
Now remember, before on new tires, he was a good bit faster than Jeff Gordon. Had run a long time before Gordon was able to come back up there and challenge him.
He pulled out to about a 5-second lead on Jeff Gordon, as a matter of fact. And then Jeff Gordon started coming back ever so slowly. But now this is working to Gordon's advantage. If he can just keep Burton down there for a little bit. Oh! Burton came off the corner, and Jeff Gordon said, I think I better back off the gas.
So Jeff Burton does take the lead, and another battle rages between Bobby Labonte and Kenny Irwin. This is for the 8th position.
Still there.
John has a report on the 28 car.
That 28 car has been really good all night long. In fact, they haven't made any adjustments this last pit stop. They took on only 4 tires, sending back out a pretty good pit stop from Kenny Irwin Jr. He was running 8 this time. Jeff Bodine also took on 4 tires. No adjustments for him. He had worked his way to the top 10.
And Irwin's teammate, Dale Jarrett, is also right there.
Now all of these cars are a lap down right now as a result of Jimmy Spencer not having made a pit stop yet. Mark Martin just passed Jimmy Spencer, or I think he did, and got back on the lead lap.
Just a couple of laps ago, we see Bobby Labonte, the Interstate Batteries Pontiac, trying to get on the inside of Kenny Irwin. Oh, little contact, and wow, Labonte got the thing sideways.
Sure did. Nice save by Bobby. Here is Jimmy Spencer, who is on old tires, but nevertheless in the lead by about 7 seconds. But look at the difference between old tires and new tires.
Once again, it's 3/4 of a second. We compared these tires earlier on 200 laps ago, and at that point, it was 3/4 of a second.
And caution, Earnhardt is stopped on the racetrack, and you're going to see a mad scramble back to the start and finish line here as Dale Jarrett and Kenny Irwin trying to pass Jimmy Spencer, but Bobby Labonte might be the only one that'll be able to do that before they get back to the start finish line. Bobby Labonte does get back in the lead lap.
But everybody else will stay a lap down, including Kenny Irwin, John Andretti, and others.
I wonder now what the leader's going to do. Are they going to stop?
What's a caution for to begin with?
Earnhardt's car stopped.
Oh, yeah. Earnhardt stopped on the backstretch.
Pay attention, Bob.
I will.
As a matter of fact, I guess. There's Earnhardt's moving again.
Yep.
Well, that's interesting.
Well, what are they going to do? Here comes Spencer, obviously.
Oh, yeah, he's going to stop.
What about the 24? Is he going to stop? The 99? They're coming right the pit road. Are they going to stop? No, they rode by.
Down to Jerry.
But one car that will make a pit stop and got a huge break comes down pit road now with the big no bull on the hood. We told you the story earlier. It's a backup car, the same one he used in New Hampshire, but had a top 15 finish. And now Harold Stott will clean the windshield. Donnie Wingo and the crew have already changed right side tires. Now coming to the left side of the car. Now also the car number 2 comes in. Rusty Wallace, the break for him, as well as the 6 and the 18. Spencer is away. Now the 2 car, right side tires. Remember, Rusty Wallace had that car problem with the right front tire twice tonight. It will come in and now get fresh rubber. And this car was very good on fresh tires. Work continuing on up pit road on the car number 18 of Bobby the Bobby as they completed the change there. Here is Rusty down and away, the 6 car out. Let's check in with John Kernan.
Dale Earnhardt had radioed into his crew and told him the reason he stopped on the backstretch, apparently an ignition problem. The engine just quit. I saw him come down very slowly down the front straightaway just before that, before he got around to the back. He said he got stopped, he switched ignitions, and finally he got it to fire up. Here's Bill Weber.
Waiting for Kenny Wallace to come down pit road. This caution saved him. He believes he has a flat right rear tire and was going to pit that time. Instead, the caution came out. Wallace stayed out, limped around the track, now pulls it into his pit stall. They will go to the right side first, jack it up, put on the right side tires, then they'll check and see if they want to change the lefts because they just put on the left side. So Kenny Wallace saved by the caution. He gets 4 tires, and of course he has plenty of fuel to reach the finish.
Just 67 laps to go in this 400-lapper at Richmond International Raceway. Jeff Burton and Jeff Gordon running first and second. We are back under green flag conditions here at Richmond International Raceway. 341 laps are now completed. The leader of the race is Jeff Burton, with Jeff Gordon running second. However, there are some cars up ahead of Jeff Burton, including John Andretti and Kenny Irwin and Jeff Bodine and Ernie Irvin. And those cars are on the tail end of the lead lap.
We saw Ernie Irvin stay in front of the leader. Oh, almost some contact. There is some contact. And Jeff Gordon goes in the lead.
Got one looking inside. You're clear, though.
That could have been a major catastrophe there.
And Jeff Gordon chose the right lane, and he's now in front of Jeff Burton by a couple of car lengths.
And Ted Musgrave is between them.
Meanwhile, Ernie Irvin just will not give up. He wants to stay in the lead lap. Does he have enough car? Looks like he does. Looks like he does. He does stay in front. Oh, little bump from Gordon.
We asked the question at the beginning of the show, when is this freight train going to derail the Jeff Gordon train? Well, it's still on track tonight. Here's the Bud race recap. Jeff Gordon is the leader. He has only led 28 of the 344 laps. We've had 21 lead changes in one of the most competitive races that we've seen all year. 6 caution flags for 52 laps. And the average speed a little over 93 miles an hour.
And just a lot of great side-by-side racing like we're seeing here right now.
Here is the long list of those who have led a lap. Jeff Gordon has, or Jeff Burton rather, has led the most laps, 106.
Whoa, Mark Martin and Dale Jarrett gets hit from behind and spins. Mark Martin almost did coming off the turn.
Back to the line now. No caution. It'll come out. Stay with it. All clear.
And it's going to allow several cars. Jeff Burton retakes the lead, and here comes the 96 car.
Caution is out.
Caution is out. Get him now.
And Ernie Irvin is going to get, he's going to lose a lap.
Not going to get the lap back. John Andretti and Kenny Irwin did get their laps back.
And one reason they threw the caution flag, and I really applaud NASCAR for doing that. The smoke going out in turn 1 was so heavy that if the cars had come off the corner, racing down into the corner, I don't think they would have been able to see properly. So NASCAR threw the caution flag. Great call. Now that smoke, you can see all the smoke. It's dissipated about 10 times what it was before.
All right, here we go again with the replay. Gordon and Burton battling for the lead.
Oh, a little contact, more contact.
Now the leaders are all on pit road.
And
here's the situation with Dale Jarrett on the inside of Rusty Wallace. Now Mark Martin, watch Mark. Comes there, you see, and he just barely clips Dale Jarrett, and down to the inside he goes.
Meanwhile, Burton is in. Here's Bill.
Jeff Burton has already got his right side tires. The left side tires are on. A quick stop. He's on his way. John Kernan.
Left side's going on for Kenny Irwin. No adjustments. No adjustments waiting. Now he goes a very fine. Let's go to the 24 pit, Dr. Punch.
A very quick 4-tire change for Jeff Gordon. No adjustments whatsoever. He is down and away. Likewise, Bobby Hamilton has been in the Kodak Chevrolet, and the quality care crew now waiting on Dale Jarrett after that car looped around twice to bring out the caution flag here as we are working lap 348. 52 laps remain here at Richmond International Raceway. Back with the conclusion after this.
ESPN Speed World coverage at Richmond International Raceway. We are under our 7th caution period of the evening as the field gets lined up for the restart. This is what brought out the caution.
Well, Bobby Labonte back there makes some contact with Mark Martin. That there, we see the 6 car, Mark Martin. I think he's going to get just a little bump from Bobby Labonte. When he straightens the car up, he goes up and taps Dale Jarrett in the left rear, and DJ nails the gas, trying to keep the car under control. This is on board with Mark Martin. Just watch and listen.
And from Bobby Labonte's on board.
Chain reaction deal. Okay, green flag is waving again. Here we go.
Jimmy Spencer and Ernie Irvin did not come in, so Spencer is the leader of the race, and Irvin is at the tail end of the lead lap. Rusty Wallace is second, Bobby Labonte third, Mark Martin fourth, Jeff Burton fifth, and Gordon is sixth. The 99 and the 24 are mired back here in traffic.
With 4 fresh tires, that's one advantage. Rusty Wallace battling with Spencer for the lead. Here's come Mike Skinner on the inside.
Trying to go 3 abreast in there. Look there, they're going to try to come off that turn 3 abreast.
Wow. Wisely, Rusty Wallace, I think, backed out of the gas and said, this is not going to work, and you're right. And here comes Bobby Labonte on the inside. There's Labonte trying to go by Rusty Wallace for second.
Here comes Jeff Burton. The 31 of Mike Skinner is not on the lead lap.
Well,
maybe
yeah,
it is.
well, yeah, if he passes Jimmy Spencer, he will be.
Oh, Labonte and Rusty Wallace. And look at Jeff Burton on the inside. 3 abreast. Labonte backs out. Let's go in the corner. Wisely. And look at Burton. He's going somewhere now. Now here comes Jeff Gordon with those 4 fresh tires. And once again, they're 3 abreast. Now Jeff Burton again going 3 abreast. Watch as he comes off the corner and turns that thing. He's on the inside of the shoulder. He gets banged. Rusty, how in the world did he save it? He saved that car.
I don't know how he did it.
Unbelievable.
Well, let's see. He's still right on the back bumper, Burton. Well, this is Saturday night racing at its best.
It is. He was completely sideways, saved it, didn't lose a position.
And now here's Jeff Gordon trying to drive on the outside of Rusty Wallace. Remember last time he passed Rusty Wallace on the outside? Shh.
Relax, PP. It's only a race.
I was going to pass him on the inside. He remembered what happened the last time.
So Jeff Gordon now moves up to third. It's still Spencer, Burton, Gordon, and then Wallace.
And once again, they're going to try and through it now. Burton says, I don't like that three abreast too good.
Ernie Irvin trying to hang on to the lead lap. He is in 12th position.
And Mike Skinner, as you can see, pulled away from Spencer, so he is in 11th at the tail end of the lead lap.
That's for the lead, the 99 and 23.
Here comes Gordon.
Is he going to make it three abreast? No, so that won't work.
Now he might.
Now he's going to be inside of Spencer as Spencer slides up the racetrack.
And Jimmy Spencer falls to third as now Jeff Burton has the lead and Gordon is second.
Okay, now he's going to try to put Ernie a lap down.
Ernie running in 12th spot.
Burton has the fresher tires. Ernie's been out there a while on his.
Meanwhile, there's a battle. Bobby Labonte gets sideways and stands right up in front of the field and slams in the wall.
He was unable to save it. He hit the wall big time with the back end of the car.
Now can you put some tires on this thing?
The caution waves once again for the 8th time tonight.
Got a lot of damage to the rear of that Interstate Batteries Pontiac. Amazing the thing will even pull. Right.
You know, he crashed going in turn 3 and the wreck started off turn 2. That's amazing how hard he hit after going that distance.
Scrubbed off a little speed, but still hit very hard. Here it is again.
There we see he's on the inside of Spencer, and looks like Rusty Wallace might have made some contact with him. And here goes Labonte. And somehow Rusty goes through all this. All these cars somehow get through this.
Now Rusty and Bobby Hamilton, Mark Martin all coming in the pits. As we watch again here.
Now from Mark Martin's car.
He sees a lot of smoke, but it dissipates pretty early. Let's go to the pits, Jerry.
Rusty Wallace, one of the 3 cars that did not pit on the previous caution flag. Now they've gotten 4 fresh tires on. He is down. Likewise, Mark Martin goes by him at the end of pit road, and Bobby Hamilton exiting also with a 4-tire change.
Bobby Labonte, meanwhile, takes off the steering wheel, lowers the net, and obviously is not a very happy race driver at the moment. He was running in the top 5 when contact with Rusty Wallace sent him into the outer wall in turn 3. We are a half a lap from the green flag. Jeff Burton is the leader of the race with Jeff Gordon running in second. Ken Schrader is third. Jimmy Spencer is fourth. And John Andretti is fifth. Now, John Andretti started up front, got a lap down, but has come back to run again in the top 5. They're not going green this time, so let's go to John Kernan.
In the garage area with Bobby Labonte, who's already changed clothes. Bobby, okay?
Yeah, a little sore right here, but when the rearview mirror come flying at me, I thought it hit pretty hard. But you know, I guess we just gotten wrecked back there on the back straightaway. You know, kind of know what happened, but you know, that's part of it. You know, Saturday night racing. You know, this Interstate Pontiac ran good. These guys did a great job. I think we're in the top 5. You know, right there at the end. So it's a great little battle, and you know, at least I was able to run pretty good on this track. It's kind of had me a little bit the past couple years. So, you know, we just had a good run, but just didn't end up that way.
Bobby Labonte finished 34th here a year ago and finished in 8th position in the June race. Well, it looks like Kenny Irwin has a tire rubs. Understand he and the 43 car had an encounter.
So he's not, looks like he's going to pit road. Yes, he is. Oh my goodness gracious! And they still aren't going green.
Nope.
They got such a mess trying to get these cars lined up. See them back there 3 abreast.
Yep. Here's Kenny in the pits.
Take your time.
See the right. Look at that right front. That's what they're trying to fix. Where the right front was rubbing the tire.
We're on 1 to go, guys.
They're changing 4 tires.
Hey, Robbie, who are we going to go behind?
He relinquishes the 6th position, but he's only going to drop to 10th because there are only 10 cars on the lead lap.
Last car, 1 lap down. Last car, lead lap.
Don't forget, tomorrow we have more auto racing for you here on ESPN. It begins with RPM today at 12:30 Eastern Time over on the Deuce. Then the Memphis 200 from the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series at 1 o'clock with Dave Spain. And at 3 o'clock tomorrow afternoon, the Kart FedEx Championship Series heads for Laguna Seca. And the Grand Prix of Monterey featuring the Texaco 300.
I tell you, those Craftsman trucks are just about as good as NASCAR has on the Touring Division right now. Of course, this is going to be pretty good. These are the last 29 laps. Green is out.
We have had 24 lead changes tonight, the most on a 3/4 mile track, 25 in February of 1991. Up front, Jeff Burton in the 99, Jeff Gordon in the 24. Looks kind of familiar, doesn't it?
Yep, it sure does. Darlington last week.
There's Darrell Walters' Tabasco car. Gordon is going by. Meanwhile, Schrader, outside pole sitter, right behind Jeff Gordon.
Kenny Schrader's had a great run tonight.
Jimmy Spencer, 4th place car.
Reddy is 5th, and back in 6th position is Rusty Wallace, who has persevered through some ups and downs this evening. He's in the 6th spot. Right behind him is Mark Martin in 7th, Bobby Hamilton 8th.
Bob, I'm sure that some fans will wonder, well, he said Rusty Wallace was 2 laps down one time after he made a green flag pit stop a little bit early. But when everybody else made great green flag pit stops, that put him back, and we mentioned that it would once they made those green flag pit stops, so it put him back on the lead lap then.
See Mike Skinner back there. And once again, I got to get a call for Skinner because he was a lap down. He's fought hard. He's back on the lead lap, running in 9th spot.
Jeff Burton will pick up to 5 bonus points for leading the most laps here tonight. The total is 178 and counting.
Oh, Dale Jarrett and Chad Little get together off of turn 4.
And once again, Jarrett spins, and there is no other car involved. No caution as of yet. If Jarrett can get the car rolling, he will not bring out a caution, and that is the situation.
He's had a tough night.
Yes, he has. That's a 2nd spin for Dale tonight.
Here comes Jeff Burton. There comes Jeff Gordon.
Less than a 2nd interval between 1st and 2nd, and then just a matter of car lengths. Back to 3rd place, Ken Schrader. Stay with us. This thing is far from over. Jeff Burton hold on for these final 19 laps and win his 2nd race of 1998. Stay with us and we'll find out. Right now, his advantage over Jeff Gordon is just a little more than 1 second or that much on the racetrack.
I think these caution flag laps that we've had has played into Jeff Burton's hands because we've seen that for 40-50 laps he has been a little bit better than Gordon. It's after that period of time that Jeff Gordon was able to make up the difference. So I don't know if there's enough time left with 17 to go for Jeff Gordon to catch up.
Here comes Schrader and Andretti and Mark Martin. Those cars running 3rd, 4th, and 5th. And the last couple of laps, Mark Martin has been the fastest car on the racetrack. A reminder that ESPN Sports Center is coming up after the conclusion of this race. Sammy Sosa gets number 30. Also report on the U.S. Open.
60.
I'm sorry, 60. And how about Florida State, huh?
Come on, Wolfpack. How about that? North Carolina State Wolfpack, huh?
A complete report coming up on Sports Center.
Where got 30 home runs come from?
Well, it's half of 60.
Oh, I see.
Does that explain it?
Yes, certainly. I understand it perfectly. It says a lot for me.
Here comes Mark Martin.
You can see some damage on the 43 on the left rear quarter panel there as Mark tries to make the next pass and leave some changes in the points here. Jeff Burton's going to move up a couple of positions.
Half the field summary shows you that Bobby Labonte, because of that incident, is going to lose 2. Andretti moves into the top 10.
Terry Labonte will lose a couple of spots. Bobby Hamilton with his great run will go gain a couple of spots. There's our leader. 1 second. 1 second to lead. I'll keep an eye on that, folks, and just see if Jeff Gordon was able to start closing in on Burton.
We've got 12 laps to go.
Last time it was 107. This time it was 0.9. He gained 0.17 of a second. Jeff Gordon did that last lap.
And that's plenty. If he can gain that every lap, then he's got plenty of time to catch him. Well, we've seen this picture before.
This is a very familiar scenario.
Never seen Mark Martin closing on the back bumper of Kenny Schrader. That's a battle for third spot. And we see Jeff Gordon. He's now closed 0.15 of a second that time and was the fastest car.
He ran a 120.1. Burton ran a 119.3, almost a mile an hour faster.
Signal is given to Jeff Burton. 10 laps to go.
Lost a little bit more that time. It's 0.66 now.
There you see it as they go by Dick Trickle driving in relief for Todd Bodine.
And here comes Mark Martin to the inside of Kenny Schrader as they wrestle for third.
Mark, we see 0.52 seconds. Half second back is Jeff Gordon.
He is closing in with 9 laps to go, and Martin and Schrader almost collide.
Boy, they're battling hard for that third position.
John Andretti is watching all of this.
4,200 now.
1/10 of a second a lap.
There are 8 to go, and he may need only 4 if he keeps it up at that rate.
Of course, catching him is one thing and passing him is another.
They're running 2 entirely different grooves.
We've just got about 3 minutes of racing left, folks. Don't go away. Gordon is now within just a few car lengths of Jeff Burton. It's down to 1/3 of a second.
And now Jeff Burton has moved up the racetrack to the same groove that Jeff Gordon was running.
A head-to-head duel coming up between Jeff Burton and Jeff Gordon. 6 to go. It's 24/100ths of a second.
Ken Burton said, we want to win one in Virginia. Come on, let's win one in Virginia. They're both from South Boston, down the road about 60, 70 miles.
Here's Gordon looking to the inside with 5 to go.
See the bumper cover on Jeff Burton's car. Someone has hit the back of it because it's waving in the breeze. Oh, Burton gets the thing loose as he comes off the corner.
Gordon got a run on him.
It's given him an opportunity to get to the inside of Jeff Burton off the corner. Burton maintains the advantage. Boy, Jeff has given it a great battle.
Both Jeffs.
Yes.
When you say Jeff, you cover it all there, don't you? Gordon's beating him right there off the 2. Got a run on him.
Once again, Jeff Gordon tries to move alongside Burton. It's been a clean battle between these two. 3 laps to go.
That's exactly what I was thinking, Bob. How clean it is.
Now, right here is where Jeff Gordon is beating Jeff Burton. But on turn 4, Burton is beating Gordon. That might be where it'll really count, because that's when they come to the start-finish line.
Here's Jeff again to the inside. Burton.
Well, that time
through, they're almost side by side. This may be where Gordon passes.
He's got to run, but he can't use that momentum off the corner. Burton comes back.
Great battle.
Gordon had to back off coming off the turn.
White flag coming out. Will it be Burton or Gordon at Richmond? 1 more lap to go. Gordon in behind Jeff Burton. Gordon heads for the inside, coming off corner number 2, down the backstretch. Jeff Gordon pulls alongside, but Burton inches ahead as they move through the 3rd and 4th corners. They're coming to the line for the win. It is Jeff Burton winning over Jeff Gordon. What a great race.
Wow. Mark Martin driving up, congratulating him.
Mark Martin made a great drive to finish third.
And look at Kim. Second win of 1998 for Jeff Burton. He also won in New Hampshire, his 5th career win and his 2nd on a short track. Burton wins at Richmond. Jeff Burton is in victory lane. Here's our McDonald's Winner's Circle interview with Dr. Jerry Punch.
And a moment ago, he climbed out of this car, stood on the roof, and this crowd in Virginia went nuts. Jeff, congratulations. What a finish.
I got your money's worth tonight. That's a hell of a race with Exide Ford. You know, I need to thank Jeff Gordon, first of all. He drove me real clean. And we worked together all night getting through some traffic. Traffic was really hard. And we took our time with each other all night. And I want to thank him first because he drove me real clean there at the end. These guys did a hell of a job in the pits all night. We picked up spots every single time. We beat the 24 out of the pit every single time, and that's huge because we all know how good they are. Big win for us. You know, this is the Exide race. And come here, Art. Come here, Art. Come here. Jeffrey, baby. The guy that makes it possible right here is the CEO, Art Hawkins, CEO of Exide. And I'm going to get in.
Oh, they're going to douse him with Coke as they are celebrating in victory lane. Let's go back to Bob.
Take a look at the results here of this race here tonight, which was one of the best we've seen in a long time. Burton not only wins, but leads the most laps. That's the reason for the double yellow arrows. The other yellow arrows indicate those who led at least one lap. Just competitive racing all night, side by side, sometimes 3 abreast. And Jeff Burton has beaten Jeff Gordon and the others here at Richmond International Raceway. Now the point standings. 204-point advantage now for Jeff over Martin, 308 over Jarrett, and 475 over Rusty Wallace. And as you can see, Ken Schrader moves up a position tonight, then John Andretti moves into the top 10. And don't forget, tomorrow, RPM today at 12:30 Eastern Time on the Deuce, the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series, Memphis 200 at 1 o'clock here on ESPN, and then the Kart FedEx Championship Series from Laguna Seca at 3 o'clock here on ESPN. Don't forget, SportsCenter is coming up with all the major stories from the world of sports. Coming up in just a few moments. Stay with us for that. Well, again, our congratulations to Jeff Burton, who has won over Jeff Gordon, Mark Martin, Ken Schrader, and John Andretti. Kim Burton and the entire team celebrates Jeff's win here tonight. The final interval was just about a half a car length. Burton in victory lane for the 2nd time this year. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports.